Good evening, football fans, and welcome to tonight's postseason playoff action. For the first time this season, Sturgill Sports Media and Warrior Nation's blog is proud to present to you a road contest for your Central Warriors as they compete in tonight's VHSL Division II playoffs against the homestanding Ridgeview Wolfpack. Tonight's game is brought to you by Lawn Rangers, serving Wise, Dickinson, Lee, and Russell counties. They have 17 years experience, a lawn service you can trust and depend on. If you'd like to have them take care of your lawn service, give them a phone call at 276-275-4181. Again, tonight's game is brought to you by Lawn Rangers. We'd also like to thank the first down sponsor for tonight, that's Sturgill Sports Media. And our other sponsors for tonight include the England Consulting Group, Lonesome Pine Country Club, the Heaters Baseball Club, and Evan Sturgill Photography. Again, we're proud to present to you tonight's VHSL Round 1 playoff game against the number 1 seed Wolfpack of Ridgeview and the number 8 seed Central Warriors. A few more shout-outs before we get to tonight's action. We'd like to send a thanks to Larry Edwards in the technology department here at Ridgeview and in Dickinson County Schools for providing us with tonight's internet access that we needed to bring you tonight's road game. We'd also like to thank Scott Kaiser for all he does for Sturgill Sports Media and the Warrior Nation blog. And we'd also like to send a quick shout-out before we get started to the Central Warriors cheerleaders who are here tonight. Again, last week they were unable to attend the game against Grundy. They were off competing in the cheer competition up in Richmond. The Central Warriors cheerleaders returned home as state runner-ups in that state competition, and they are here tonight. We'd like to send a quick shout-out to those individuals. Again, thanks for all those people who have made it possible for us to bring you tonight's VHSL playoffs for the Central Warriors. Again, I'm Chris Wilson. I'm joined tonight by Kelly Foster. He'll be my partner in crime and my sidekick here bringing you this contest. And, Kelly, nice to have you again here. We didn't know if we was going to be able to bring any road games, but here we are at Ridgeview, beautiful campus here on a pretty dreadful weather night. But here we are bringing you some playoff action. And what do you have to say to our listeners?
This is a really cool experience. First of all, Central Warriors being in the playoffs for the first time since 2015, and we get to bring Warrior Nation the action from here in Ridgeview. It promises to be a fun night of football. Chris, we talked at the beginning of the year how we always brought good weather to these football games. The last 2 weeks have not been ideal. But thankfully, we've had a lot of rain during the day, but thankfully that rain has seemingly moved out, and we're going to have pretty good conditions for tonight's contest.
Yeah, it's a cool night. There is still a little bit of a drizzle coming down. It rained pretty heavy earlier in the day. You can still see a little bit of a shine and a shimmer here on the turf here at Ridgeview High School. Again, they have a similar, field surface as Central has, and so Central comes off that last week's game against Grundy in some pretty bad weather, and here we are again, first round of the playoffs, and again we have some pretty bad weather, like you said. Though I think most of the worst stuff has moved out. It is a lot cooler of a night tonight than I believe it was last week. Temperatures down in around the low to mid 40s. Again, a light rain still falling here at Ridgeview. Again, it will be a cool night, which will probably have some type of a factor at some point here tonight in this contest.
It will, and the players are pretty much immune to it now. They've played the last couple of weeks in similar conditions. So, as a player, this is the type of weather that you like. First of all, it's playoffs, so nobody's going to be complaining about playing this week because there are a lot of teams who wish they would be playing. They're now seeing it home. So these guys are excited to be here. For our Central Warriors, they come in tonight winning 3 in a row, knocking off Lee, Gate City, and Grundy in that order to make the VHSL playoffs. The last 2 weeks been really exciting contests. The Gate City overtime win, and then last week's 28-27 win over Grundy. So it promises to be a good night for football. Now, these two teams met earlier in the season. The Wolfpack from Ridgeview came out victorious 54-0 over the Central Warriors. This Ridgeview team is no joke. They started the year as preseason favorites to make noise in the state playoffs. They come in as the number 1 seed, and they have high hopes to make the state playoffs again this season. And actually, for both squads, this is neither one have won a playoff game coming into tonight in their school's history. So tonight is going to be a first for somebody.
So, again, you mentioned, the different paths that both of these two teams have taken in order to get here. Central coming off 3 consecutive wins. and Ridgeview coming in as the overall number 1 seed. At this time, we're going to step aside real quick while we have the playing of the national anthem. And we're back here again at Ridgeview High School, the site of the first round of the VHSL playoffs. Again, tonight's game between the Central Warriors and the homestanding Ridgeview Wolfpack. Again, tonight's game is brought to you by Lawn Rangers, serving Wise, Dickinson, Lee, and Russell counties. With 17 years' experience, they are a lawn service you can trust and depend on. If you'd like for them to take care of some of your lawn needs, give them a call at 276-275-4181. Again, that's Lawn Rangers bringing you tonight's game action. And here we are. It's the first round of the playoffs. Again, Central Warriors coming in as the 8th seed, the Ridgeview Wolfpack as the overall number 1 seed here in the Division II playoffs. We're about 2.5 minutes away from kickoff. Both teams have their captains gathering at the 50-yard line. The other teams or other teammates gathering in the end zones, preparing to run through the banners prepared by the cheerleaders and get tonight's contest underway. Again, if you're listening to us at home, we'd like to appreciate you tuning in and listening to Kelly and I as we bring you this playoff action. Again, looking around the crowd here, Kelly, it looks like we may have quite a few listeners tonight. Both sides seem to be, as we said last week, in the words of Don Hall, we have a partial sellout.
We have a partial sellout. Very sparse. I'm going to go with my vocabulary like I do every week. A very sparse crowd over on the Central Warriors sideline. Not quite full here on the Ridgeview side of things. So it's a partial sellout. And as both teams meet at midfield for the coin toss tonight, Ridgeview will be in the all-black uniforms with blue numerals. The Central Warriors coming out tonight looking a lot like the Ohio State Buckeyes with the white jerseys and red numerals, the silver pants, and silver helmets.
Good thing about Central is we'll be able to read the numbers a little easier tonight, so hopefully we'll be able to call out the correct names. And even on Ridgeview, some pretty legible uniforms that they have on as well. It appears that the Central Warriors have won the opening kickoff, and they have elected to defer. So Ridgeview will be playing on offense tonight to get tonight's contest underway. Again, these two teams met earlier in the season, a lot earlier in the season, actually, Kelly. I believe that was way back in September, about week 3 or 4, I guess it was, of the regular season. That contest was here at Ridgeview. We did not bring you that game here on Sturgill Sports Media and Warrior Nation blog, a game that the Wolfpack came out victorious with a 54-0 victory. Again, some things have changed. I'm going to assume for both teams, but I can only speak on behalf of the Central Warriors. Some things have changed. I'm looking at our starting lineup sheet here, Kel. We've got a lot of names scribbled out and a lot of new names put in from the original lineup. You know, obviously the key figure that's changed would be the Central Warriors quarterback position. Again, Isaiah McAmus was, I believe, at the helm of that last contest when Central played Ridgeview. Now the Warriors will have Ethan Mullins under center. And
I would like to mention tonight that Ethan comes into tonight's contest as 3-1 as the starting quarterback for the Central Warriors. On the defensive side of things, as you'll recall, last week Isaiah Reynolds went down late in the first half with a leg injury. I actually ran into Isaiah today. I was able to talk to him, and unfortunately, it is feared that it may be an ACL type injury for Isaiah. He is here tonight. I seen him over on the sideline looking out. He's over there in his civilian clothes and cheering on his teammates, trying to pick up the school's first playoff win in their history.
Yeah, Isaiah, I believe, was one of the captains out there for the coin toss. Again, unfortunately for Isaiah, again, a senior, he is, as you said, dressed in his street clothes and is actually using crutches. He used the crutches out to the midfield there for the opening coin toss. Both teams have come running out of their end zone. Again, Ridgeview coming out of the end zone to our left, out of the inflatable, I guess, wolf that they have that their team comes running out of, and
the big bad wolf.
The big bad wolf. I guess hopefully we're here to maybe blow their house down. I'm a little hesitant here now. We're in a different setting here, Kelly and I. We're going to be pro homers as best as we can and bringing you guys the action here at home. And hopefully we don't get run out of the press box here. Now we got Peanut. We do have Peanut buffering us over here to the right, and
Peanut here, and I'll give a special shout out to Cheeseburger is here with us.
There you go. We've got the food, and if you're curious, we do have our miniature bag of miniature candy bars present.
We are ready for kickoff.
We are ready. Peanut has his candy bars. Kelly has already partaked in about 3 or 4 of those. I have been told I need to eat a few, so maybe I could put on a few pounds, but I prefer not to bring you the action with a mouthful of chocolate. Peyton Rogers with the opening kickoff, and it's going to sail out of bounds at the Ridgeview 30-yard line. So just like that, 1 second will run off the clock, and a penalty flag on the Warriors for illegal procedure.
Yeah, that was a planned kick. Looks like we didn't want to kick it deep, so Peyton just kicks it out of bounds. Ridgeview will take over. Looks like they're going to spot the ball around the 35-yard line. A key player to watch for the Wolfpack tonight will be Trenton Atkins. He is their star running back, being recruited by several D1 schools, and so he will get plenty of touches tonight for the Wolfpack.
Again, the Ridgeview running back, as Kelly mentioned, Trenton Atkins. He'll be number 6 tonight, and their starting quarterback, number 13, Tyler O'Quinn. He is a senior who will be up under center or in the shotgun here tonight. Again, Ridgeview comes out on their opening drive. O'Quinn is in the shotgun. There's a man in motion. It's going to be a handoff, and we have a penalty flag right off the gate. It's going to be a false start penalty on Ridgeview. And so, Kelly, so far we've run 2 plays, and we have 2 penalties.
Well, it looks like a lot of flags coming out tonight. Official's going to have to ice his arm after the game. We can already see that up front. Interesting there from Ridgeview coming out in the pistol formation, showing jet motion on the first play. We'll see what happens here first and long for the Wolfpack.
Again, number 22, Matthew Sexton, was the wide receiver who went in motion before the penalty flag was thrown and the whistle was blown. And Ridgeview breaks the huddle. O'Quinn comes out again in the pistol formation, as Kelly said. There goes Sexton again in motion. O'Quinn takes it, he hands it off to the running back in the backfield. He breaks a few tackles. He's across the 45. He's to midfield. Again, that's Trenton Atkins on the run. So on the first down run up the middle, Kelly, after 2 penalties, Atkins is going to pick up 20 yards, and it's going to be a Ridgeview first down.
It was just a jet sweep action. They faked the jet sweep, gave to Atkins on a dive, was able to pick up big yardage. Atkins is a big, strong, powerful runner. He showed you why he's being looked at by several schools.
And again, we saw that last week with Grundy. Grundy was able to break a few good runs up the middle last week. Atkins takes the snap. It's a handoff. O'Quinn takes the snap. He hands it off to number 22 in the backfield. He runs off to the right-hand side. He's going to be forced out of bounds around the 43-yard line. So on first down, it's going to be a gain of 7, bring up second down and short here for the Wolfpack.
I feel like one of the keys tonight for the Warriors is to put the pack in second and long and third and long situations. And on that first down play, they were able to pick up around 7 yards. So the defense is going to have to do a better job on first and second down.
That was Sexton on that 8-yard run. They're going to give him 8 yards on the play. O'Quinn comes back out again in the pistol formation. He takes the snap. He looks to hand it off. He does to Atkins. Atkins is going to go up the middle untouched. He's across the 20. He's across the 10, the 5. And just like that, Kelly, we are 37 seconds into this game, and it is a 42-yard touchdown run by Trenton Atkins. Wolfpack lead 6-0.
Chris, I think Peanut, Burger, whoever touched the ball on that play could have walked in because there was not a Central Warrior in sight. Huge hole. Atkins never got touched on his way to the end zone.
Yeah, he broke it up the middle, and like you said, he was about 15, 20 yards upfield before he was even touched, and he may have went all the way in untouched. It looked like a guy may have gotten a hold of his jersey around the 10-yard line, but it wasn't enough. Atkins had the momentum. He coasted in for the 42-yard touchdown score. Ridgeview comes out now lined up to kick the extra point. There's the snap. The kick is up, and it is right down the middle, up and good. And Kelly, we are 37 seconds in. This game could not have started any worse for the Central Warriors as they now trail 7-0.
If you ask Coach Owens how he wanted this game to start, this would be the exact opposite of how he would have probably drew it up. But it is what it is. It is now 7-0. So this young Warriors football team is going to have to play from behind in their first playoff experience on the road, and we'll see how they do.
Yeah, at this point, considering how quickly Ridgeview scored, this could be one of those contests for Central where if you want to keep yourself in this ball game, you may need to keep control of the ball as long as possible here on offense. Any 3 and outs in this situation and giving Ridgeview giving them the ball back this soon, could set up for disaster here early on. But like I said, hopefully the Central Warriors offense can come out now and sustain the drive, and let's see if we can't put some points up on the board again. It's Central was unable to score against the Wolfpack in that earlier matchup. Hopefully our Central Warriors can hang in and battle back. It's just 7-0, but again, we're 37 seconds into the contest. Central's back to receive the opening kickoff. It's C.J. Crabtree and Matthew Boggs back deep. The kick's going to go to C.J. Crabtree, who takes it at the 15-yard line. He crosses the 20, out across the 25, and will finally be brought down right around the 28-yard line. So Central will start their opening drive 1st and 10 from their own 28.
As Central begins its first offensive possession of the night, I do want to make mention of the fact that C.J. Crabtree, who returned the opening kickoff there for the Warriors, is 80 yards away from eclipsing the 1,000-yard mark for the season. So that's something to keep an eye on. Also, want to keep an eye out for Ethan Mullins, who, like we mentioned before, comes into tonight's contest as the starting quarterback for the Central Warriors. Is 3-1 as a starter. So these are a couple things to keep our eye on tonight, Chris.
All right, so the Warriors come out from the sideline. They break the huddle. Ethan Mullins will go up under center. The same type of formation we've seen. C.J. Crabtree goes in motion. Instead, it'll be a handoff to Matthew Boggs deep in the backfield. He's going to be met pretty much at the line of scrimmage for a gain of very little. It was kind of a run up the middle off the right-hand side. They're going to mark him down right back at the original line of scrimmage, it seemed. Maybe give him a yard, bring up 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, the Warriors coming out in their familiar double wing offense that we've grown accustomed to over the course of the season. Just no running room for Boggs on 1st down. And as we've seen the last few weeks, the key for this Warriors offense is to pick up positive yardage on 3rd down, stay ahead of the sticks. But right now we're 2nd and long.
Again, we'll probably see a lot of Ethan or of Maddox Reynolds going in motion, C.J. Crabtree going in motion, and Matthew Boggs being the deep man on the running back. C.J. Crabtree goes in motion. This time the handoff will be to him off the right-hand side. It was around the end. He's going to be met again right at the line of scrimmage with a pretty hard hit that time by the Ridgeview defensive end. Not a lot of running room for C.J. Crabtree on 2nd down. We're going to give him no gain. It's going to be up 3rd down and 9, Kelly.
Well, if the first 4 plays of this game are any indication, both sides of the Ridgeview big men up front are controlling this football game. Just nowhere to go that time for C.J. It's going to bring up a 3rd and long for Central. Look for Ethan Mullins to air this ball out. Maybe he gets in space where he can use his legs.
And looking at their Ridgeview's defensive line, does look slightly bigger than the Warriors' offensive line. Ethan Mullins goes in the shotgun this time. C.J. Crabtree goes in motion. It's going to be a handoff to Matthew Boggs off the left-hand side. He's going to get a gain of about 1 or 2, and then he's going to run into the defensive end and thrown down to the ground hard by the Wolfpack defensive end. They're going to give him a gain of about 2 yards, Kelly. So, as we kind of feared after that quick score by Ridgeview, Central comes out and goes 3 and out. They pick up about 3 yards total, and now they'll be forced to punt. And as we've seen, the punting game for Central lately has been a little suspect. Yes, a little suspect. Central lines up the punt. I believe it's Peyton Rogers back deep. It's not Peyton Rogers.
It's Ethan.
It's Ethan Mullins back to kick. He takes the high snap and gets it away. Ridgeview will field the punt at their own 38-yard line. Good coverage right there by the Central Warriors to limit Ridgeview to just about 4 yards on the return. So Ridgeview will start their second drive with 9:06 left in the first quarter at their own 42-yard line.
That tackle was made by number 55, Ben Stallard. Ben did a good job getting down the field. Looked there for a second like the Ridgeview kick returner was going to call fair catch and decided to take the ball up the field instead. Looked like everybody hesitated there for a second, except for Ben, who came in and made a good tackle. So we'll see what the Ridgeview offense does on its second possession. First possession was all Trenton Atkins, and I would expect pretty much the same.
Again, Ridgeview scored on about 4 plays. They had the false start penalty, and then it was big chunks of yards right after that. O'Quinn in the shotgun. Ridgeview has a man in motion. They're going to hand it off to the motion man off the right-hand side. Pretty quick run. He's going to be across the 50-yard line where he's finally brought down. That run was by number 22, Sexton. They're going to give him a gain of about 8 yards. And just as we saw on that first drive, Kelly, Ridgeview picking up large chunks of yards here on first down.
Just large chunks of yardage, controlling the line of scrimmage. That was Tyson Tester in on that time, in on the tackle that time for the Warriors. We're going to have to get these guys in some second and long, third and long situations early on. The offensive line is just dominant for Ridgeview.
So far, we've seen runs by Atkins and Sexton here for Ridgeview, and every run so far has gone for at least 8 yards. This time it's a handoff to Atkins up the left-hand side. He dances around a little bit. He's going to have enough for the first down. He's across the 40-yard line. He's going to be brought down at the 38-yard line, so we're going to give him a gain of 12. And again, Kelly, he had 4 or 5 yards before he was ever touched and then danced around and just put his head down and kept going, and it's another big game for Atkins.
And I'll say this for Ridgeview, they're not trying to trick anybody. They're just running the ball right at the Central Warriors, and Atkins, man, he's a horse. I mean, he's just picking his way and exploding when he gets the football.
Yeah, that he is. But again, he's not facing a whole lot of adversity there at the line of scrimmage as the Ridgeview offensive line is doing their job. This time it's a pitch off to the left-hand side to Atkins. He stutter steps and stops at the 35-yard line. The Warriors will bring him down there. So far for the Warriors defense, this will be their best defensive play. Atkins is only going to pick up about 3 yards on the toss to the left, bringing up 2nd down and 7 with 7:45 left.
Yeah, that was a good job that time by number 62, Eli Staller, fighting through his man and making the initial contact that time on Atkins. So good job there by the Warriors. Like you mentioned, Chris, that's probably their best defensive stand of the night. Now it's going to be 2nd and long for the Wolfpack.
So 2nd down and 7, the Wolfpack break the huddle. Again, O'Quinn in the pistol formation. He's about 5 yards, 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He takes the snap and he throws a little screen pass off to the right-hand side to number 22. That's Sexton again. The pass was a little high and sails through Sexton's hands and will fall incomplete. So for the first time tonight, the Ridgeview Wolfpack offense faces a 3rd down and long situation. Let's see what the Warriors defense can come up with.
And this is what the Warriors defense has to do. It has to put Ridgeview in uncomfortable down the distances. That time they tried a little hitch pass out to the right-hand side. Fortunate for Ridgeview, that ball was not ruled a lateral, but it did fall to the ground incomplete. So now 3rd down and long for Ridgeview.
3rd down and 7 on the Central Warriors 35-yard line. O'Quinn in the shotgun. He's going to hand it off to Atkins off the right-hand side. He busts through the line of scrimmage. He'll have enough for the first down as he crosses the 30. He'll finally be brought down at the 25. And Kelly, again, not a whole lot of fancy running right there. It was just a little handoff off tackle to the right. And good job by the Ridgeview offensive line. Good job by Atkins keeping his legs going, and he's got enough for a first down.
Yeah, the Central defensive front is just on ice skates right now. They're just rolling backwards, just skating backwards, and Atkins is just taking it to him. That big offensive line is just taking it to our Warriors right now.
Tells you the confidence Ridgeview has in their offensive line when they drop an off-tackle run on 3rd down and 7. O'Quinn takes the snap. This time he gives it to Sexton, who is the up man, and Kelly, he's going to go 24 yards completely untouched. And from what I've seen so far, Sexton appears to be the lightning to Atkins' thunder, because that was a pretty quick scoot up the line. Again, that was a run up the middle, and he went 24 yards untouched. And here we are, 5 minutes and 3 seconds, and Ridgeview now is up 13-0.
Yeah, he darted through the line untouched, like you said, Chris. Showed a lot of speed there. He wouldn't have been down in flag football or 2-hand touch or 1-hand touch. So not the ideal start for the Warriors tonight. Ridgeview having their way early on.
So far, Ridgeview has 2 runs for touchdowns of over 60 yards, and I believe on both runs they've went in untouched on those touchdowns. Ridgeview lines up for the extra point. The kick is up, and it's high enough, and it is straight enough. And like I said, with 5 minutes and 3 seconds into this contest, Ridgeview now leads the Central Warriors 14-0. Again, tonight's game is brought to you by Lawn Rangers, serving Wise, Dickinson, Lee, and Russell counties. With 17 years of experience, they are a lawn service you can trust and depend on. Give them a call at 276-275-4181 and let Lawn Rangers take care of all of your lawn needs. So Kelly, Central lines up now to field their second kickoff, and this had to be a fear of a lot of these Warriors fans, either listening to us here at home or here at the contest. When Ridgeview took on the Warriors earlier in the season, and it was that 54-0 Ridgeview victory, you kind of hoped that maybe Central figures something out. Maybe that 3-game win streak would carry them into a more competitive, maybe a more competitive field. But so far, here we are, not even halfway through the first quarter, and it's been all Ridgeview.
All Ridgeview, all Ridgeview. So the Warriors are going to have to get something going on this next offensive possession. You don't want to say start hitting the panic button early in the first quarter, but 14-0, something's got to give.
Yeah. Here's the kickoff. It's going to go to C.J. Crabtree again. He's going to field it at the 12-yard line. He's going to keep it on the left-hand side. He's across the 20, out across the 25, splits a couple of tacklers, and it's going to be brought down at the 29-yard line. So much like the first drive, the Warriors are going to start deep inside their own territory. In that first drive, ended with a 3-and-out, with the Warriors gaining only about 3 yards before they finally punted the ball back to the Wolfpack.
I do want to mention, Chris, that in the last two contests, the Warriors have trailed by more than one score and have battled their way back. This is in different conditions. We're not playing at home, and we know the caliber of team that Ridgeview is, but got to have something positive happen on this offensive series.
Yeah, again, we actually trailed Gate City 14-0 going into the half of that game. That Central came back and won 22-21 in overtime. Central breaks the huddle again. Ethan Mullins up under center. C.J. Crabtree goes in motion. Ethan's going to pass it out to the right. That is a complete pass out to number 12 on the right-hand side. The Warriors are going to pick up about 4 yards on that quick pass play. So there's something a little different we haven't seen much out of Central up here recently, Kelly, coming out on first down and throwing the ball out to the right.
Yeah, and the good thing there, Ethan had time. He had time to turn around, find Maddox. Reynolds on the reception that time for the Warriors. Picks up 4, so that's good. You got second and manageable now instead of being behind the sticks. Now you're more in a manageable position to call as a play caller, to be able to call more, to use more of your playbook.
So, again, Central comes out and throws the ball on first down. A good throw and catch from, again, Ethan Mullins to Maddox Reynolds. Ethan Mullins goes back up under center. This time Reynolds goes in motion. It's going to be a handoff to the deep man, Matthew Boggs. And Kelly, he's hit hard right at the line of scrimmage. No running room at all for Matthew Boggs on that run. He'll be tackled right at the line of scrimmage, bringing up 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, the Warriors' offensive line is just being out-quicked. I mean, Ridgeview is big, and they're strong, and they're powerful, but they're quick. And that time their quickness showed as the defensive tackle just darted through the hole and laid a lick there on Matthew Boggs. So 3rd down and long for the Warriors. Look for the ball to go back up in the air.
Yeah, so again, it's going to be 3rd down and 6. The Warriors have the ball at their own 34-yard line. Scoreboard's calling it 3rd down and 5, so we'll go with that. 3rd down and 5. Again, we're in the opening quarter here at Ridgeview. About 5.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Ridgeview leads 14-0. Ethan Mullins goes in the shotgun this time. C.J. Crabtree goes in motion. It's a play action to him. Ethan Mullins looks downfield, sees no one open. He decides to keep it for himself. He's going to cross the 35-yard line off the left-hand side, but it's going to be tripped up and brought down at the 37-yard line. Kelly, that's going to be about 2 yards short of a first down, bringing up a 4th down and 2 situation. And considering what we've seen from Ridgeview so far, you hate to say it's 4th down territory and or whatever, but I believe Center's going to have to go for it here in this situation.
Yeah, Coach Owens already made the play call. I like it. You got to get something going. You can't afford to punt the ball back to them at this stage. So here we go. 4th and 2 for the Warriors.
4th down and 2, ball on their own 37-yard line. Again, we're in the first quarter. Coach Owens electing to go for it here on 4th down. Ethan Mullins takes the snap in the shotgun. He looks to throw. He does throw, and it is a throw and a completion off the right-hand side. That is a catch by – it's Lester off on the right-hand side. He catches it around the 45. They're going to mark him down at the 46, and that is a Sturgill Sports Media Warriors first down.
A great job there by Ethan Mullins, a little 3-step drop and hit Damon Lester out across the sticks for the first down. That's a big first down for the Warriors. If you're a Warrior right now, you get a sigh of relief. You kind of get a little reprieve, and also for the coaching staff.
So what we're seeing is, last week we tried to throw the ball a little bit, and we were having a tough time catching. The receivers, were hitting the hand several times a week ago, but unfortunately could not come up with the catch. So far tonight, they are 2 for 2. Maddox Reynolds goes in motion. It's going to be a handoff to Matthew Boggs up the middle. He steps it out to the right-hand side. He's going to get it out near midfield. They're going to mark him short at about the 48-yard line. It looked like a pretty good run to start, but instead it's only going to be a gain of about 2, make it 2nd down and 8 for the Warriors.
Yeah, but you can tell the passing game, completing a couple passes, has loosened up a little bit of that Ridgeview defensive front. Now, the question is, can we sustain that over the course of the drive, over the course of the quarter, and over the course of the football game? That'll tell the tale of this game tonight, Chris.
And so far, the Warriors, Ridgeview scored 2 touchdowns within 5 minutes. So the Warriors with a pretty decent drive right here, hanging on the ball now for at least 3 minutes and getting 2nd down and 8. So the Warriors, if nothing else, are going to chew up some clock on this drive and keep the ball out of Ridgeview's hands. Ethan Mullins this time is going to keep it on the fake to Matthew Boggs, and he's going to be across the 45. That's going to be another first down. He's going to be brought down at the 41-yard line. That's another Sturgill Sports Media Warriors first down. And, Kelly, the Warriors got a little bit of drive going here.
Little confidence can go a long way, and I love the play call there with Ethan keeping the ball off of the option. Ethan can, as we've seen earlier in the game, he has a quality quarterback who can make all the throws. He can also beat you with his legs, and I think getting Ethan involved early on like this bodes well for Central.
That's something you've mentioned a lot about keeping the ball in Ethan's hands. The Warriors haven't done it a whole lot here since he's been in at quarterback, but on that play, he elected to keep it, put the ball in Boggs' hands, and kept it for himself. This time, C.J. Crabtree goes in motion. They're going to hand it off to him on the right-hand side. This is a play we've seen a lot from the Warriors. They play it has had a lot of success. On this play, it will not have a whole lot of success and actually none at all, as C.J. Crabtree off the right-hand side is going to be brought down at the line of scrimmage, bringing 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, and the reason it's had success over the last couple of weeks especially is because our backs have been able to turn that ball up in between the tackles. And that time, Ridgeview did a good job stringing CJ out to the sideline. Just absolutely no running room there for Crabtree. It'll bring up a 2nd and long for Central.
It's going to be 2nd down and 10. The Warriors do have the ball in Ridgeview territory now on the 41-yard line. Ethan Mullins is going to go into the shotgun. He has 2 receivers. C.J. Crabtree goes in motion. It's going to be a handoff to Boggs. No, Ethan Mullins keeps it. It's a very similar play to what we ran before. And Ethan Mullins breaks it. He's to the 25, to the 20. He's going to be wrestled down at the 15-yard line. It's going to be another Sturgill Sports Media Warriors 1st down on the 26-yard run, that time by Ethan Mullins. Just like the last play he ran before, Kelly. He puts the ball in Matthew Boggs' out there in his belly and decides to keep it. He pulls it out, runs it off to the left, and there's a big chunk of yards by Central. Then I have the ball on the Ridgeview 15-yard line, 1st down and 10.
And again, Ethan beating defenses with his legs. He is an athlete. He's more than just a guy who you can put back there to just throw the ball around or hand the ball off. He's a weapon, and tonight looks like the game plan, at least early on, is to use that weapon and use it often.
So the clock is now under 2 minutes here left in the 1st quarter. Again, the Warriors driving on a drive that started on their own 29-yard line. They're now on the Ridgeview 15. C.J. Crabtree goes into motion. It's going to be a handoff to Matthew Boggs as the deep man. He's going to pick up about 2 or 3 yards up the middle, so it's a positive gain, something we haven't seen a whole lot out of so far out of Central on just some straight runs. They're going to give him a gain of, it looks like, 3, Kelly. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 7 with the ball at the 12.
Yeah, when you spread the ball around the way the Warriors are doing here in this drive, it's loosening things up. And Matthew hasn't had a lot of running room early on, but there picks up a marginal gain on 1st down, and that's the Warriors staying ahead of the sticks. And we'll see what they come up with here on this 2nd down play. Now only 10 seconds left on the play clock.
So the Warriors are going to have to hustle up. They're going to get this play off before the play clock expires. It's now down to 5. Ethan Mullins in the shotgun. Maddox Reynolds goes in motion. It's going to be a handoff. No, this time Ethan Mullins keeps it off the right-hand side, and this time, Kelly, that play's going to go with no success. Actually, Ethan Mullins will fumble the football. We're waiting on a signal, and it's going to be Ridgeview football. So a lot like the play we've seen where Ethan Mullins elects to keep it. That time, again, he fakes it to Boggs, he keeps it and goes right. But unfortunately for the Warriors and for Ethan Mullins, the ball squirts loose. It's going to be a fumble, Ridgeview football on their own 12.
It was just a traditional option play out of the shotgun to the right-hand side of the Warriors offense, left-hand side of the Ridgeview defense. And unlike the first two plays that were similar to that, Ethan had no running room, tried to make something out of nothing, and wind up fumbling the football.
Yeah, so the Warriors actually ate 6 minutes off the clock on that drive, but unfortunately will come away with no points on the fumble. O'Quinn takes the snap. He hands it off to Sexton off the right-hand side, and Kelly Sexton's gone. Again, the play starts at the 12-yard line. Sexton's now to the 20. He's to the 10, the 5, and it is a touchdown. It will be an 87-yard touchdown run by Sexton for Ridgeview. And Kelly, just like the other 2 touchdown runs, he went all the way untouched.
That's 3 touchdowns, and they've not been touched on any of them. I'm not sure what's going on with our defense tonight, but something's got to change here. This is going to get ugly real fast.
Again, the Central Warriors had a little bit of momentum on that last drive. As I said, it chewed up 6 minutes of the clock. They got the ball with 6:57 when they started the drive. When Ethan Mullins fumbled it there inside the 15-yard line and Ridgeview recovered, there was 57 seconds on the clock. So Central had the ball for 6 minutes. But unfortunately for the Warriors, it takes Sexton only 13 seconds to go 87 yards. And now with the extra point being good, the Wolfpack lead with 44 seconds left in the first quarter. It's Wolfpack 21, Warriors 0.
Yeah, it's just been a dominant performance early on by the Ridgeview Wolfpack. on the offensive side, especially, the Warriors are just having a tough time defensively doing anything at all, and the Ridgeview running backs are gaining the benefit of it. I mean, I don't know what else you can say, Chris. They're going untouched on almost every play.
Yeah, again, that was an 87-yard touchdown run. I believe the previous one was a 22-yard touchdown run, and before that, I believe it was a 42-yard touchdown run. And on all three of those, they may have been touched one time. I want to say on the first touchdown run, the 42-yard run by Atkins, he was touched around the 10-yard line. Somebody maybe touched his jersey. I don't think he'd have been down if it was two-hand touch, as we've said. I think somebody got one hand on him, and then he took it all the way into the end zone. And like I said, we're not even through the first quarter yet, and Ridgeview now leads 21-0. So it's been a while, Kelly, since we've seen a game like this. We know we'll have a little bit to talk about when we start maybe comparing some of these teams that may be meeting later on down the road, because we've seen some of these teams that are in the Division I or Division II playoffs. But let's don't get too far ahead just yet. Let's see what the Warriors can do here on this drive. Again, they had some success on the last drive. Here's the kickoff. It's going to go to C.J. Crabtree. He catches it just inside the 20-yard line. He's across the 25 to the 30. He'll finally be brought down. He's going to be pushed back to about the 28, 29-yard line. So just like the last drive, the Warriors are going to start deep inside their own territory with first down and 10 from the 28-yard line.
And I think if you're the Warriors, you have to come back to what was successful in the previous drive, and that's throwing the ball a little bit, getting Ethan out on the edge a little bit, running the ball with Matthew Boggs a little bit, and try to sustain a drive that comes away with some type of points. They need some points on this drive, Chris.
Yeah, if nothing else, you need some points just for just for your morale, if nothing else. Again, the last time these two teams met, the final score was 54-0, and this game is so far through one quarter of play shaping up to look a lot like it. We see Central break the huddle again. They come out, Ethan Mullins up under center. It's Maddox Reynolds in motion. It's going to be a handoff to Matthew Boggs in the backfield off the left-hand side. He's going to be brought down at the 29-yard line. So it's going to go down as a gain of 1 as the first quarter clock now ticks down to about 25 seconds to go. The Warriors will not have to execute another snap if they choose so, but it's going to be 2nd and 9 for Central.
Looks like Coach Owens is content to let the first quarter clock run out. And so we are going to begin the second quarter with Ridgeview up 3 scores, 21-0 over our Central Warriors. Not the way that anyone would have wanted this playoff experience to begin. But, we've seen from our guys over the during the whole season, actually. You start off 1-6 and then win your final 3. I expect the Central Warriors team to fight the remaining 3 quarters of this football game. They're not out of this by any stretch, but they do need a big play. They do need to get some points on the board as the second quarter begins. And I fully expect these guys to continue to fight, to continue to scratch, continue to claw back into this football game.
Yeah, goal number 1 right now for the Warriors needs to be figure out how to score. Let's at least dent the scoreboard and put some points on the board. And then after that, figure out a way to stop this very potent, very fast, very strong Ridgeview running game again with Atkins and Sexton. And, we've called O'Quinn just because he's taking the snaps. But O'Quinn hasn't had a whole lot to do. It's just pick which guy he needs to hand it off to, and that's either Atkins or Sexton, and they've pretty much done the rest of the work from there.
At this point, Chris, you can just see the size and the speed difference between these two teams. I mean, you can tell Ridgeview's a more veteran-laden club, and you can tell our Warriors are a younger type team. We have some seniors and juniors mixed in, but a lot of freshmen and sophomores out there tonight in this first playoff experience.
The second quarter is now ready to begin. Again, tonight's game is brought to you by Lawn Rangers. Ethan Mullins in the shotgun. Maddox Reynolds goes into motion. There's a handoff to Matthew Boggs up the middle. Looked like he had a lane, and that lane closed quickly, and Matthew Boggs is going to be hit hard after getting a yard. He's brought down at the 30-yard line. So it's going to bring up 3rd down, and they're going to give him 2. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 7 for the Warriors.
I don't know if Ridgeview's doing some types of twists and stunts up front, but I'm noticing almost after every play some of our Central offensive linemen looking at each other and kind of throwing their hands up at each other, saying, hey, that's your guy or that's my guy. So whatever Ridgeview's doing on their defensive front is giving our offensive line fits.
The Warriors break the huddle. Ethan Mullins this time is going to go in the shotgun. He's joined by 4 wide receivers, 2 to his left and 2 to his right. Ethan Mullins takes the snap. He rolls out to his right looking to pass. There's the throw. It's going to be intercepted at the 40-yard line by Ridgeview. It's going to be returned across the 25 to the 20. That interception by Ridgeview was made by number 7. Don't quite have his name here on my page on the roster here. It's number 7, Jacob Hensley, a senior defensive back. And the pass was intended for Lester on the right-hand side. Ethan Mullins rolled out, tried to hit Lester coming back to the football. But Hensley jumped the route and intercepted it, and he's going to return it about 20 yards, and Ridgeview will now have the ball first down and 10 from the 22.
Chris, the play was just a sprint out to the right side, and Ethan just held the ball too long. Looked like the corner was playing some games with him, jumped in front of it and picked it off.
So now Wolfpack has the ball deep inside Central Warriors territory at the 22-yard line. O'Quinn takes the snap. He looks to throw. It looked like it was a little bit of a, not quite a slant, but more of a post pattern right there. The pass was a little bit out in front of the intended receiver, and it'll fall incomplete. So at this point, Kelly, you got to consider that a positive for the Warriors, as it'll be 2nd and 10 here for Ridgeview.
And you got to wonder right now, the Ridgeview offense, that's the first time we've seen them put the ball in the air. You got to wonder if they're going to go back to Atkins as the rain here on the hill continues to fall.
It's a rain. It's a fog. You see some fog over here to our right, the pretty heavy-looking, steady little mist and rain to our left. There's the handoff. It's to Sexton up the middle. He darts a few tackles, side skirts a few. He's going to be touched at the 3-yard line. So he was touched, but it's going to be a 22-yard touchdown run for Sexton. It's his 3rd of the contest. And with that touchdown with 10:58 left in the second quarter, it's Ridgeview 27, Central 0.
Yeah, we missed a couple of tackles there, and the Ridgeview back just darted into the end zone. That guy's quick. Yeah, he's quick, and he's fast and elusive, but I think we're making him look a little more quick and a little more elusive than they actually are tonight.
I mean, he ran it up the middle. It looked like Central had a couple of guys right
there. A couple
there.
Guys there just didn't execute.
They could at least get a hand on him, and he juked and jived a little bit and then sprinted out, and then we actually got a hand on him at the 2 or 3 yard line, but that wasn't going to be enough to bring him down. It's a touchdown. The extra point is up, and it sails through the uprights. It had plenty of leg and plenty of distance. That would have been good from about 30 or 40 yards. And again, with 10:58 left in the first half, it will be Ridgeview 28 and the Central 0. So, Kelly, here we are again, same situation. Let's see if the Central Warriors can at least mount a drive and find some positives.
Yeah, I think right now, if you're Coach Owens, you just got to gather your troops together and say, hey, we just need something positive. We just need something positive. Obviously, Chris, being involved in athletics for a long, long time, is you're always going to face some type of adversity in any kind of sporting event that you play. Obviously, you wouldn't like it to be a 28-point deficit, but, you got to, as a coach right here, and I'm sure Coach Owens is trying to rally his troops, you just want something positive to happen, something positive that you can take into halftime with you to build off of before the second half. But, again, we're only a couple minutes into the second quarter here, so we'll see what the Warriors do with this next possession.
Yeah, again, at this point, you hate to start preaching moral victories, but again, the Warriors just, again, we saw earlier they sustained a 6-minute drive, but unfortunately, again, a turnover cost them any chance at points. And again, here we are. Let's see if we can't, again, sustain a drive and maybe see if the Central Warriors can, like I said, put something up on the scoreboard here going in before the first half expires. It's Matthew Boggs and C.J. Crabtree set back at their own 10-yard line to receive the kick. This time it's going to go to Matthew Boggs. It sails over his head, hits at the 5-yard line, and actually kicks out of bounds at the 2. So that will be an illegal procedure penalty here on the Ridgeview Wolfpack on the kickoff. So with that penalty, the Warriors will get decent field position. They will start this drive at their own 35-yard line. And if memory serves me correctly, Kelly, that's going to be the best field position for a starting drive so far by the Warriors.
That's the best field position of the night for Central. And, again, I think, if you're the Central offense, you go back to doing what you've been doing. We've been moving the football. We've had two costly turnovers there early on. And here comes the offense back out onto the field, and let's see what happens.
And here we are, 10:58 left in the first half. So Ridgeview leads 28-0. Central comes out this time a little bit looking at a different formation. The wide receivers are a little more stacked up closer to the line of scrimmage. Maddox Reynolds goes in motion. He'll get the handoff off the right-hand side. Pretty good run right there by Maddox, Kelly. In the line of scrimmage at the 35, he goes off the right-hand side. It's actually CJ on the run. My fault. He crosses the 40 down at the 42, so it's going to be a gain of 7. So that's Crabtree's best run so far of the night.
Good run right there by CJ. Again, CJ entered the night with 920 rushing yards, needing 80 to bust the 1,000-yard barrier. So good pickup there on first down. You mentioned the formation. They did kind of shorten the receivers down a little bit. It provides a little more blocking out on the edge.
So again, the Warriors break the huddle. Again, they're going to come out in, again, that very similar formation with the wide receivers pinched way in closer to the offensive line. Maddox Reynolds goes in motion. It's going to be a handoff to Matthew Boggs. He tries to go up the middle. Now he tries to dart it off the left-hand side, and that's going to be met with disastrous results. He's going to be touched at the 40. He's going to be brought all the way back down at the 35, but looking at the far official, they're going to give him a little bit of forward progress. They're going to mark him down at the 39. So a pretty generous spot right there by the Warriors. Not a lot of running room again for Matthew.
Real generous spot there for Central. One thing I've noticed early in this football game, you don't want to go east and west against Ridgeview. You want to get north and south. That time we were more east and west oriented and resulted in the loss.
Yeah, we're not quick enough to go east and west, and what we've seen so far is we're not really big and strong enough to go north and south. There's not a lot of room north and south to go that direction either. So it's 3rd down and 6. We got 9.5 minutes remaining here in the first half. Ethan Mullins in the shotgun, joined by Matthew Boggs. C.J. Crabtree goes in motion. It's a fake to him. Ethan Mullins is going to keep it. He's going to throw it up, and it's going to be intercepted at the 40. Ridgeview's to the 20, to the 15. He's finally going to be brought down from behind by C.J. Crabtree. There's a flag on the play. I believe it's going to be a horse collar tackle as C.J. Crabtree brought down the Ridgeview return man down from behind. Didn't quite catch the number of who that was on the interception. It's either number 22 or 23. But a good return on the interception by Ridgeview. And, again, they're going to be down inside the 10-yard line looking to pretty much put this one in doubt.
Yeah, Ethan went back to pass and just kind of panicked and just threw the ball up. And the Ridgeview defender were standing right there. They did get C.J. on the horse collar. It was the only option C.J. had to try to catch the returner there. And now Ridgeview is set up in optimal field position for them. And getting ready to tack another one on.
Yeah, Ethan Mullins was almost down for the sack, and as you said, just sort of panicked and threw it up, a kind of a desperation throw. And as we've seen with this speed, you don't just want to throw it up. And Ridgeview intercepts it, and they're actually calling the penalty on Ridgeview, Kelly. I'm not exactly sure what the call was there. I thought I saw a horse collar tackle there by CJ, but instead they're going to say there was an unsportsmanlike or personal foul penalty on Ridgeview. So instead of being down inside the 10 with a 1st and goal situation, it's going to make it 1st down and 10 for Ridgeview at the Central Warriors 27. Again, we have 9:16 left here in the first half. Ridgeview leading 28-0. Ridgeview comes out of the huddle. Again, Tyler O'Quinn, the quarterback, joined behind him by Atkins. He's the thunder here of the Ridgeview running game. I believe we're going to have a false start. Yeah, the wide receiver on the far side got a little bit of a head start there before the snap. And so we have a pre-snap penalty. It'll be a false start on Ridgeview, which will make it 1st down and 15 all the way back at the Central Warriors 32.
We'll take all the help we can get at this point. First, we get a personal foul, and now we get a false start. Moves the pack back to the 32-yard line. We'll see if this Warrior defense can dig in here and show a little bit of pride on this possession.
Tyler O'Quinn gets the play call from the coach and jogs back into the huddle. Again, Ridgeview leading 28-0. About 10 seconds left on the play clock. Ridgeview comes out with 3 wide receivers set. And O'Quinn joined behind him by Atkins in the backfield. It will be a handoff to Atkins off the left-hand side. He's got about 5 or 6 yards before he's finally touched. Then he's going to pick up about 10 to 12 more yards and finally be wrestled down by the Central Warriors defense. I believe that was Tyson Tester who finally was able to bring Atkins down, but not until he gets to the 16-yard line. That's going to be enough for a Ridgeview 1st down.
Atkins is a big load. Matthew Boggs with the initial contact there on Atkins, but he keeps his legs moving until Tyson can come in and mop him up. Ridgeview in business again inside the red zone here in the second quarter.
All right, it's 1st down and goal, or not 1st down, it goes 1st down and 10. Ridgeview has the ball on the Central Warriors 16-yard line. O'Quinn takes the snap. He's going to keep it. It's an option off to Atkins off the right-hand side. Warriors kind of get him at the line of scrimmage, but he's going to drag that tackler about 5 or 6 yards inside the 10. So it's going to be a good game. Like about an 8-yard gain for Atkins off the right-hand side, setting up a 2nd down and short situation for Ridgeview at the Central Warriors 8.
Ben Stallard on the tackle that time for the Central Warriors as, again, Atkins just punishing defenders every time he gets the ball.
So the good news for the Central Warriors is we are making contact with the running backs, and we are successfully tackling them so far on these last 2 runs. But, again, Ridgeview with great field position now at the Central Warriors 8, looking to tack on yet another score here in the first half. O'Quinn comes out in the shotgun. He takes the snap. It's going to be a pitch to Sexton to his left. He will be touched, Kelly, at the 2, but he's going to sprint on in for a touchdown. Give Sexton his 4th touchdown, not only of the night, but his 4th touchdown of the first half. And with 7:57 left in the half, it's Ridgeview 34, Central 0.
Sexton keeps his pace up. They'll put a statue of him out in front. 4 touchdowns in the half. They just faked the pitch to the left, and Sexton delayed and came through on it was a draw type action and or a counter type action, and relatively untouched into the end zone. And now the Ridgeview kicker back out again to attempt his 5th extra point of the half.
And Ridgeview lines up for the extra point. Because you mentioned that statue. If they do put a statue up, they'll have to make sure it moves so quickly that nobody can touch it. The extra point is up, and it is good. And with 7:57 left in the half, it is Ridgeview 35, the Central Warriors 0. Again, tonight's game is brought to you by Lawn Rangers, serving Wise, Dickinson, Lee, and Russell counties. With 17 years of experience, they are a lawn service you can trust and depend on. You need them for your lawn care needs. Give them a call at 276-275-4181. Tonight's game is also brought to you by Sturgill Sports Media, the England Consulting Group, Lonesome Pine Country Club, the Heaters Baseball Club, and Evan Sturgill Photography.
Well, you know, Chris, coming into tonight's contest, Ridgeview was the number 1 seed, and the Warriors were the number 8 seed. And you know as well as I do, as the number 1 seed going against an 8 seed, looking at it from a Ridgeview point of view, this is exactly what you would want, to jump out to an early lead in the first half and what is seemingly now looking like an insurmountable one, and just kind of taking care of business there. And if you're on the Warriors side, you know, your hope's always to come in and shock the world as the low seed. Sometimes you get that opportunity and it happens, and sometimes it just doesn't. And tonight, it's just not falling our way. Doesn't diminish the fact of what these guys have accomplished over the course of the season.
Yeah, again, I had that thought on the way over here. If the Central Warriors were able to come out of this with a victory, how would you rank it? Would it be, you know, is it USA, Soviet Union soccer? Is it,
it's the 16. It's Virginia losing in the NCAA.
I was going to say, is it Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson, or if we want to go recent, is it UMBC over UVA?
I think you go recent because these are new schools, or relatively new schools, and that event just happened. It's in the first round. I would go with the Virginia upset of last year.
Yeah. So, and if possible, we would get somebody on that Warriors Twitter handle and really pushing like the UMBC Twitter handle was doing during last year's tournament. They ate that up last year. And looking at her to her right, we actually see some of our contingent up here showing us their UVA keychains. Not exactly too fond of our reference here, but they are Wolfpack fans on our end. So at this point, I believe they are safe of that potential upset. But that remains to be seen. Still plenty of football left to play here at Ridgeview. The kickoff sailed into the end zone for a touchback, so Central takes over on their own 20. And on the first down play, it'll be a run. Central Warriors, like most of their runs, will be met with very minimal gain. They're going to give them a yard, which will bring up 2nd down and 9 with 7:30 left.
That was Boggs off the left side. Again, not a lot of ring room there for Matthew. 2nd and long for the Warriors. Didn't realize we had so many people listening in to us here tonight, Chris.
Yeah, we're a little different booth here at Ridgeview. We're joined by several other members who will either enjoy what we have to say, or by the time the night's over with, they'll be ready to run us out of here and move on to next week. On 2nd down, it's going to be a handoff to C.J. Crabtree. He's going to get a few yards. He's going to be running at the 24-yard line. There is a flag on the play, so we'll have to see what the flag will be. It'll be about a 4-yard run. That will be negated by the hold that the referee has now signaled. So it's going to be a hold on Central, which will make it 2nd down and even longer now for Central.
And when you're a ball control offense like the Warriors are, and your money is getting ahead of the sticks on 1st and 2nd down, a holding penalty like that just kills you. CJ really had no running room out to the right side anyway, but the holding penalty just amplifies that now. Now it's 2nd and real long for Central.
So at this point, based on the audience that we've gained over the last few weeks, especially with our halftime conversations, we may have a larger audience of people who might be willing to chime in. So at this point, we need a topic. We can't talk about homecoming proposals or Halloween candy or favorite Thanksgiving side dishes. We're going to need a topic of conversation. And before the 2nd down and 18 play gets underway, there is a timeout on the field. With 6 minutes and 42 seconds left in the first half, Central calls its first timeout. Again, the score right now is Ridgeview 35, the Central Warriors 0.
Chris, this would be a good time to talk about our cross-country team who are now at state preparing to run. I believe that, Evan, if I'm not mistaken, that takes place tomorrow maybe. I know I was talking, and he said he would be listening tonight. So this is the official shout out to baseball coach J.W. Salyers, whose daughter Carly will be participating in the state cross country meet for the Warriors. And so congratulations to those runners for making that far, number one, and good luck to them as they go to the state tournament.
In that state cross country meet, I believe is in Warrenton, Virginia. It's at an old can't quite remember the name of it. It's an old equestrian field there, a very flat cross-country course upstate there in Warrenton, Virginia. And little known fact there about that cross-country track, it's like I said, it's an equestrian park, and it's where former Superman Christopher Reeves was paralyzed years ago on an equestrian accident, like I said, 2025, maybe longer than that, years ago. The timeout is over. Central is set to throw. It's a pass play by Ethan Mullins. It was intended for C.J. Crabtree. The pass will fall incomplete just inside the 30-yard line. C.J. Crabtree was flanked by about 2 defenders right there and never really quite saw the football, and it will fall incomplete, bringing up 3rd down and 18.
Yeah, Ethan looking just a little bit out of sorts tonight as he drops back. He had a couple of good throws in the first quarter, and then the second quarter seemed like after the turnover, he's pressing a little bit too much. Did not get his feet set on that particular throw, and it goes for an incomplete pass.
So it makes it 3rd down and 18 for Central, getting the ball on their own 12-yard line, trailing 35-0 with 6:38 remaining here in the first half. Ethan Mullins in the shotgun, waiting for the snap. He takes the snap. He's going to roll out to his right, looking to throw. He's going to keep it. Now he throws it up. It's a floated ball, and it will be intercepted by Ridgeview again, just inside the 40-yard line. The Warriors will bring down the return man. Kelly, that interception was by number 23, that is Quinn Turner on the interception. If I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, he's probably intercepted one other of Ethan Mullins' interceptions. And again, Ridgeview has the ball now. They're going to be at the Central Warriors 36-yard line, 6 minutes and 29 seconds to go, and looking for another score.
Yeah, on that particular play, Ethan rolled out to his right. It was similar to the play he got picked off on earlier in the contest. Just nothing there. He threw the ball up into heavy traffic, and the pack was able to come down with it.
So the Ridgeview has the football. Quinn in the shotgun. He looks to throw. He rolls out to his right. He throws it up deep. He has an open man. A good effort by the Ridgeview receiver. That actually looked like when the ball was thrown up, it was going to be well overthrown. But good job by the receiver right there to make up a little bit of ground. Unfortunately for him, it will still fall just shy of his diving, outreached hands. Fortunately for the Warriors, it'll be incomplete, bringing up 2nd down and 10.
It was one-on-one coverage to the outside, and again, that play was busted wide open. Just a slight overthrow there by the Wolfpack quarterback.
So Ridgeview comes out of the huddle now, 2nd down and 10. They have 4 wide receivers set out, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Sexton will go in motion. The snap is to O'Quinn. He's going to hand it off to Atkins off the left-hand side. He picks up about 8 yards before he's finally touched and brought down. It's going to be another 1st down, as he's going to be marked down to 23-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 12 for Atkins, and Ridgeview has a 1st down with 6:15 left in the half.
And again, that was Tyson Tester in on the tackle for the Warriors. Another big gain there by Trenton Atkins, who just seems to be carrying the load. Like you said, he's the thunder for the Wolfpack.
Yeah, again, he pretty much went 8 yards before he finally got touched. So, again, Warriors not having any success at having any contact at the line of scrimmage, no chance at any lost yardage because they're just getting huge yards right off the snap. And as soon as I say that, we actually do make a little bit of contact with Atkins on the low snap, but once he gets the ball in his hands, Kelly, he just lowers his head. He started the run at the 23-yard line, just a simple run right up the middle, and he's going to be all the way down to the 8-yard line before he's finally brought down. So it's going to be a gain of 15, bring up 1st down and goal for Ridgeview at the 8.
Initial contact on that play was made by Tyson Tester, but again, Atkins just running through tackles, turning his way down inside the 10-yard line.
So 1st down and goal now for Ridgeview. They've got 4 wide receivers. Again, Atkins in the backfield and O'Quinn, the quarterback. O'Quinn takes the snap. He hands it off to Atkins. And this time the Warriors actually do a pretty good job of tackling. It's going to be a number 69 that time on the tackle. That's Daniel Hawkins on the tackle. They're going to limit Atkins to a gain of just 1, making it 2nd down and goal from the 7.
Good tackle there by Hawkins, who is I can't remember, Chris, if he's a freshman or a sophomore.
I believe he's a holdback freshman.
He's a holdback freshman,
Yes.
So another young kid there on the defensive line for the Warriors. Good tackle there by Daniel.
So 2nd down and goal now for Ridgeview. Again, O'Quinn in the shotgun. He's joined off to his right by Atkins and 4 wide receivers. Sexton goes in motion. He'll take it on the motion. This time the Warriors will meet him at about the 9-yard line. Sexton will kind of break that tackle and get back to about the original line of scrimmage. So on the last 2 plays, Kelly, we've seen probably the best tackling and the best defense up front by the Warriors all night. And that's going to make it 3rd down and goal now for Ridgeview.
Real good job there by Tyson Tester stringing that play out and making the tackle there on Sexton, who already has 4 touchdowns on the night, and then they're giving the ball to him down in here inside the 10. It makes me kind of wonder what the school record for touchdowns by a Wolfpack player might be.
Yeah, we may have to try to figure that out here before the evening is up. Ridgeview breaks the huddle. There's about 13 seconds left on the play clock. This time, Ridgeview will be in the shotgun. It's O'Quinn. He has no one in the backfield. Sexton goes in motion. It's a fake to him. O'Quinn will keep it up the left-hand side. It looks like he's going to be brought down shy of the end zone kill. He does cross the 5-yard line, but Central will meet him at about the – looks like they're going to mark him down at the 2-yard line, so it's going to make it 4th down and goal here for Ridgeview at the Central Warriors 2 with 3:45 left in the half.
And if I'm not mistaken, looks like the Pack are back out here on the field. I started to say that it looks like they maybe attempt a field goal here, but it looks like they're going to go for it here on 4th down, which I would totally agree with. Other than maybe if you're looking ahead for them for next week and on down the road, maybe get their kicker a little action.
Yeah, well, they're going to go for it. So O'Quinn takes the snap. It's a handoff to Atkins up the middle, and he's going to go in untouched. It was a 2-yard gain, 2-yard run for Atkins. That'll be his 2nd touchdown of the night. And like that, Ridgeview now with their 5th touchdown here in the first half. Their 6th touchdown here in the first half. And with 3:22 left in the first half, it's going to be Ridgeview 41, Central Warriors 0.
And again, just another powerful run there by Atkins, untouched into the end zone. That kid just has a look about him. He's big and strong and is fast and not getting not getting much challenge here tonight, Chris.
That's correct. And Sexton now with 4 touchdowns. Atkins going to try to catch him now with his 2nd. Ridgeview lines up for the extra point. Here comes the snap. The snap is down. The hold is good. The kick is up. And just like the previous 5, the 6th extra point is good right down the middle. And now with 3:22 left in the first half, it is Ridgeview 42, the Central Warriors 0. Again, tonight's game is brought to you by Lawn Rangers, serving Wise, Dickinson, Lee, and Russell counties. With 17 years experience, they are a lawn service you can trust and depend on. If you'd like to give them a call to help take care of your lawn needs, call them at 276-275-4181. And then before I came tonight, I did stop by and pick up Kelly Foster, and he actually rolled over here with me. And I did take a look at his lawn, and perhaps he needs to give Lawn Rangers a call. A lot of leaves in the yard, some high grass. Perhaps he's got plenty of time. I think he's just getting lazy on us on the weekends. He should maybe give Lawn Rangers a call.
Are you serious? Now Donnie's my guy. Donnie's my guy, but I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. I mean, really?
Maybe
you're looking at the leaves. How could you see? It was already dark.
Maybe it was my yard, and he can come pick up that big pile of leaves I've got in my yard. It's been sitting there for about 4 or 5 days that are still in a pile. They're just waiting to be bagged up.
And my wife, bless her heart, is listening at home, shaking her head. Yes, that needs to happen.
So here we are, 3:22 left here in the first half. Ridgeview up 42-0. The rain has picked up, and let's see what the Warriors can do on this drive. There's the kick. It's going to be C.J. Crabtree this time off the right-hand side. He fields it at the 5. He's across the 15 to the 20. He's going to be finally brought down at the 22-yard line. So with 3:15 left and the Warriors down by 6 touchdowns, let's see what the Warriors can do. Again, 3:15, if nothing else, Kelly, it'd be nice if we can just sustain a drive and maybe put some points on the board going into the half.
You'd like to get a little confidence and get the ball in the end zone here before the first half ends. Just a long, cold night right now for the Central Warriors out here. And
I'm gonna have to ask Brush subject. Is it really cold? Is it a nasty night? We're inside just now.
This is really cool. Actually,
it feels pretty good to me.
They could have put us on top of the press box tonight,
Yeah,
but they showed us some hospitality here.
When we walked the half a mile in, because we were foolish and parked in front of the school, not really knowing where the parking lot was here. We saw the tent on top of the press box and got worried. We got worried they were going to put us up on top, and I was figuring out how I was going to try to broadcast the game with chattering teeth. On first down, Ethan Mullins hands it off to Matthew Boggs up the middle. He's going to be met at the line of scrimmage for a gain of 0. So it's going to bring up second down and 10 now for the Warriors.
Just again, Boggs off the left side, not a lot of running room there, and just gets stacked up at the line of scrimmage. At this point, the Warriors look like they were in no hurry to get back to the line of scrimmage. Going to use all the play clock and try to wind this clock to get to halftime.
Yeah, worst case scenario for the Warriors, you'd like to at least eat up the final 2 minutes and 40 seconds of the half and not let Ridgeview get the ball in their hands again with the chance to score another touchdown going into the half. So at least the Warriors would like to try to eat up the remainder of this first half. This time the handoff goes to C.J. Crabtree in motion off the right-hand side. He crosses the 25. Is going to be wrestled down out of bounds at the 27-yard line. So it's going to be a gain of about 4, which will make it third down and about 5 here for the Warriors with 2:27 on the clock in the half.
And that seems to be the theme tonight. Just not a whole lot of running room there for CJ. Was knocked out of bounds, so third down and 5. The clock stopped now at 2:27 remaining in the first half. The Warriors trailing 42-0 here to the Ridgeview Wolfpack.
The Warriors break the huddle. Again, Ethan Mullins comes out. He's going to go up under center. Again, Matthew Boggs in behind him with 2 wide receivers. C.J. Crabtree goes in motion. It's going to be a handoff to Maddox Reynolds, who breaks a pretty good run off the left-hand side right there. Crosses the 35, will be brought down at the 37-yard line. That's going to be a Sturgill Sports Media Warriors first down. It's going to be first down and 10 now at the 37-yard line. Kelly, pretty good run that time by Maddox Reynolds.
Yeah, it's the counter play that we have grown accustomed to seeing Maddox run. He was 1 tackle away from actually breaking a big one right there, Chris. So a little bit of positive mojo here for the Warriors, picking up a first down with about 2 minutes to go in the half.
Again, 2:08 left here in the first half. The Warriors break the huddle. Again, ball on their own 37-yard line. Ethan Mullins up under center. He takes the snap. He hands it off to C.J. Crabtree off the right-hand side. He's across the 40. He's going to be pushed out of bounds at the 44-yard line. So another pretty good run this time by Central. That's going to be a gain of 7, make it second down and 3 with 1:54 left in the half.
Big block out there on the outside by number 9, Josh Price, allowing C.J. to pick his way for about 7 yards. So now about 1:54 to go here in the half. The clock stopped. Warriors just doing what they do.
So again, pretty good drive so far here by Central. Again, the drive started deep in their own territory. They're now approaching midfield. As we've said pretty much on every drive so far by Central, it'd be nice to see them be able to punt something into the end zone and put some score, or at least put a score up on the scoreboard here in the first half. Again, so far we've played Ridgeview now for 6 quarters this season and have so far yet to put up any points on this Wolfpack defense. On second down, it's a counter play this time to C.J. Crabtree. He crosses the 45-yard line. He's to the 50. He'll finally be wrestled out of bounds by about 3 Wolfpack tacklers. That's going to be enough for another Sturgill Sports Media first down as the Warriors now have the ball at midfield with 1:47 left in the half.
Yeah, we've seen the Warriors pretty much exclusively go with that counter action to Maddox Reynolds. This time they come back with it to C.J. Crabtree, who does a nice job, picks up another first down. So some positive plays here by the Warriors ending out the first half tonight.
So let's see if the Warriors try to get aggressive here. Again, just 1:47 left in the half and the ball at midfield. Let's see what the Warriors try to do here. If are they content on running out the clock, or do we try to do something a little more aggressive to make sure we put this ball in the end zone before the half expires? Again, 1:47 seconds left. Ethan Mullins goes up under center. Maddox Reynolds goes in motion. It's a handoff up the middle to Boggs, and he fumbles the football. Pretty good run by Boggs, but the ball will squirt out, and Ridgeview will recover the fumble at their own 38-yard line. So, again, the Warriors, for the second time tonight, Kelly, had a little bit of a drive going, and for the second time, both those drives, the positive drives, will result in fumbles and recoveries by the Wolfpack.
Well, Chris, that old saying, and as we look out here tonight, when it rains, it pours. It's been raining hard all day physically. Tonight, it's raining hard on the Warriors out on this football field.
Yeah, it's not going well here for Central. So the Wolfpack will take over, and we're kind of at that juncture now where we may have to start looking at making sure we've got some correct names out there. But still in the first half, Ridgeview most likely with their starter still in the contest. The snap is in the shotgun. They hand it off to Sexton off the right-hand side. He's going to cross the 45-yard line before he's finally brought down. That's actually not Sexton. That was number 25. I have to flip over here and see the
Kanan Lewis.
Okay, so it's Lewis on the run. So we are at that point now. We're going to make sure we get some of these names correct here for the Wolfpack. But it's going to be a gain of 6, setting up 2nd down and 4 with 1:15 left in the first half.
Yeah, and the Wolfpack are in no hurry to get to the line of scrimmage as they line up here to run their 2nd down play.
It actually looks like the quarterback is down number 2, Nick Phillips, who takes the handoff. It's a run up the middle by Ridgeview. It's going to get out across the 45. It looks like he'll be brought down at the 46-yard line. Not much running room there. That time the run was by number 5. That's Derek Mullins, a sophomore for Ridgeview. So now it looks like Ridgeview might just be content to take this 42-0 lead into the half as they huddle up with the clock now down to 40 seconds.
Well, this is what you're seeing out of Ridgeview here. Obviously, they are going to move on the next week, and Coach Rick Mullins getting some of his key players out of the action tonight, ensuring that they are prepared, ready to go next weekend.
Yeah, again, with this weather coming down now, you don't want to risk a chance of any type of injury from your starting unit. Phillips will keep it this time on the quarterback keeper. He's across the 50-yard line. He crosses midfield. It's going to be enough for a 1st down. He'll finally be brought down into Warriors territory at the 48-yard line with 18 seconds left in the half. That's going to be a 1st down by Ridgeview. And as I look down here on the Ridgeview sidelines, most of the players now jogging off the field, even though there's still time left here in the first half. Ridgeview does not have to execute another snap, and they'll be perfectly content to go into the half leading the Central Warriors here in the first round of the VHSL Division II playoffs, 42-0.
As I stand here, both teams are exiting the field. There was still time running off, but the official still stood over the football. That guy must feel lonely and cold. It's the only thing I can think of. He must feel lonely and cold standing out there. Has anyone ever faked running off the field only to run back on the field and run another play?
I'm going to say no. I've never seen it before. That would be a
These are things you talk about when it's 42.
That's true. That would be a clip you would see. I actually did see I have something to talk about at this point. A video that was sent to me of a kid, and this is right up mine and your alley because it's a baseball clip. You can tell me if you've seen this or not, of a kid who struck out and the ball hit the ground. So the catcher had to apply the tag to the runner or throw it to first base. Well, he had time to apply the tag because the runner or the hitter kind of stumbled. And as he applied the tag, and you can speak of this, you have a son who's a catcher. He kind of applied the tag, not forcefully, but, you have to put the tag on the guy and make sure you put the tag on him. So when he put the tag on him, he kind of stumbled. Kind of not pushed him down intentionally, but it kind of looked like he sort of pushed him down, and the batter took exception to it and took the bat and hit the catcher.
Can't do that.
Yeah, did not like being kind of knocked back down to the ground on the tag and decided he was going to take his baseball bat and just wail on the catcher.
That kid did not earn the sportsmanship award that night, or probably for the season.
That is probably correct. But again, we're at the half here at Ridgeview football field. I don't know if they have a name on the football field. Maybe somebody there can help us out with that. But Ridgeview High School, home of the Wolfpack, for, again, tonight's first round action in the VHSL Division II playoffs. The number 1 seed Ridgeview Wolfpack leading the number 8 seed Central Warriors by a score of 42-0. Again, tonight's game is brought to you by Lawn Rangers, serving Wise, Dickinson, Lee, and Russell counties. With 17 years experience, they are a lawn service you can trust and depend on. Give them a call at 276-275-4181 and let them take care of all of your lawn service needs. Tonight's game is also brought to you by Sturgill Sports Media, the England Consulting Group, Lonesome Pine Country Club, the Heaters Baseball Club, and Evan Sturgill Photography. Just a few more quick shout-outs. We mentioned this prior to the game tonight. We'd like to send a thank you out to Larry Edwards in the Technology Department of Dickinson County Schools for helping provide us the internet access that we needed to bring you tonight's game. Again, at home games, we were able to have access, and one of the reasons we haven't been able to bring you as many road games this season is just that, question mark or unavailability of internet access. So, again, thanks tonight to Larry Edwards in the Technology Department here at Dickinson County Schools for providing us with the internet access. Again, thanks to Scott Kaiser for all that he does for Sturgill Sports Media and the Warrior Nation blog. Again, Scott writes up a lot of the blog reports after some of these contests and puts in some of his own time and effort to bring you some of the recaps that are posted, again, on Warrior Nation blog for Sturgill Sports Media. Again, before the game, we sent out a congratulations to the Central Warriors cheerleaders for coming home last week in second place in the cheer competition here in the Virginia High School League. It was the Central Warriors cheer team's first time ever competing in the cheerleading competition. And in the inaugural season, the Central Warriors were able to claim second place in the state. So congratulations to Miss Amber Boggs and all of those fine young women who are on that cheerleading team, and to all the women who help out with that cheerleading program. Again, we also said earlier, good luck to the Warriors cross-country team tomorrow as they are set to compete in the VHSL state cross-country meet. Again, J.W. Salyer sending Kelly Foster a message before the game that he would be tuning in to tonight's broadcast. His daughter Carly, one of the top runners for the female team, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, maybe they're listening right now, she came in second in the Region D race last week. Again, we worked with Carly's mother, Amber, there over at the school at J.W. Adams. And if I recall correctly, I heard her telling someone she came in second in that Region D race. And again, is set to compete in her final state cross-country meet. Again, that meet taking place up in Warrenton in Virginia. If you just tuned in to tonight's broadcast, again, Ridgeview leads 42-0. It did not take Ridgeview long to get the scoring underway. A 42-yard touchdown run by Atkins got the scoring going, and Ridgeview quickly led 7-0. After that, it was 4 consecutive touchdown runs by Sexton, and just like that, after those 4 runs, it was 35-0. And here recently, as the first half wound down, Atkins punched it in from 2 yards out for his second touchdown. So at this point, the 42-0 lead, it is Sexton with 4 touchdowns for Ridgeview and Atkins with 2. And I've got a feeling, Kelly, we've probably seen the last of Sexton and Atkins for the night.
Yeah, that's probably all you're going to see from Sexton and Atkins. Like I said, Coach Rick Mullins, going on the conservative side here in the second half, more than likely, and deservedly so. His group seemingly has a second round contest going into next week, and I think, not sure who that would be against.
It'd be the 4-5 game.
It'd be the 4-5 game. That could be Abingdon, Richland, somebody like that.
Did Battle make it?
Battle is playing Union tomorrow.
So Battle and Union is the 2-7. So again, Graham being the 3. Is Abingdon? I guess Abingdon would be in that, even though they're AAA. No, it wouldn't be Abingdon.
4-5, Grayson County, Richlands.
Grayson County and Richlands, as Evan says over here to our left. So Grayson County and Richlands. So at this point, it looks like Ridgeview will be awaiting the winner of that. I'm not exactly sure which of those games, Kelly, are being played tonight. We do know, we heard earlier today that the Union game, Union and John Battle, was moved to tomorrow. And that's one of the conversations that Evan has kind of reached out to some people and brought up to us about some of the pros and cons about, playing these playoff games on Friday night as opposed to Saturday. I believe back in your day, you played in a playoff game. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Did you in that J.J. Kelly Powell Valley game years ago?
Yeah. Back in the day, back in the 90s, the playoff games, it was honestly, though, it was set up differently. You didn't have the 8 seeds like you had now. It was a Region D, Region C. It was a different time period. So not as many teams made the playoffs as they do today back then. But we always played our games on Saturday. And in my opinion, there's nothing like playing high school football on Saturdays. Now, I understand playing at least first round games on Friday nights. But as the playoffs go, I like those Saturday games.
Yeah, here we are looking at here tonight. The weather has been, pretty dreadful all evening. I believe that Union game was actually scheduled for tonight.
It was.
But due to the weather, they moved that game to tomorrow. So, some of the pros and cons, obviously, to that is, The pro to them moving that game tomorrow is you're going to get better weather. You would expect probably to draw a better crowd, and usually these playoff games, these can be some money makers as you get, especially the closer the seeding gets, and maybe the further into the tournament you get, as the games potentially get a little tighter and closer. You expect to draw some pretty good sized crowds. The cons to that is, if you move it to Saturday, you're if you want to get, greedy or selfish, you're taking up an entire Saturday, as hopefully a future administrator. We kind of had this conversation just a few days ago with some other administrators that if you move it to Saturday as an administrator, this is an all day affair. You're going to have to use up an entire Saturday of your time to get field ready, make sure everything's taken care of. You've got your police officers here to direct traffic. You got to take care of all that. If it's done on a Friday night, you're already here at the school. It makes it a little easier to get everything set up that you need to.
I think as a player, though, playing on Saturday, it's something special, something new. Even as a coach as well, it's something because, it's like tonight, it's the first round of the playoffs. But, again, it's a Friday night game. It's just another Friday night. Even though it is the first round of the playoffs, there's just a different feel about it when you're on Saturday. You're playing on Saturdays. It's like the big time college football teams, and
typically those Saturday games are earlier in the day, so you're playing it more.
Playing in the middle of the day,
and not under the lights. It's more of a daytime game.
Yeah,
it does have a different feel to some of these high school kids who are typically playing, like we said, the games on Friday nights. As the season's gone on, we did start the season, with kickoff being with some daylight. And then as the game progressed, the lights would be on. And then as the time changed and the fall progressed, the start of the game has been under the lights. And so, like you said, this Friday night game does have a Friday, does have a typical Friday night field, not exactly a playoff field. We do have a couple halftime scores here, Kelly, from some other of the playoff games in the Division I contest. Chilhowie leads Eastside 35-0. Again, we saw Eastside there in Week 1, a game that the Central Warriors came out of victorious by 2 touchdowns. Chilhowie taking it to Eastside 35-0. We've kind of mentioned Chilhowie sparingly throughout the year. Again, Chilhowie finished second last season in the state. Came up short, I believe, to maybe James River. That's somebody like that. I can't quite recall, but I know they ran into a pretty good team in the state championship. I was able to talk to one of their assistant coaches earlier in the year, and they had high expectations this year, returning a lot of starters, returning a lot of players, and they have some pretty high hopes of being able to get back to that state championship game. And in round 1 here tonight against Eastside, they're well on their way to advancing to round 2 with that 35-0 lead. A score of interest here for potentially Ridgeview as Richlands leads Grayson County 7-0. So a lot tighter game. Again, that's a 4-5 game. So two teams that are probably a little bit more evenly matched, at least based on seeding. Richlands, again, leading that game 7-0. Neither one of those two teams we have a whole lot of experience with, as we haven't seen either one of those two teams so far this season. One thing I was thinking about too, as this playoff progresses, and again, if you're just tuning in, Central trails 42-0, so it's very slim that we'll be bringing any more Central Warriors football to you guys this season. But if you do have interest in how some of this plays out, we have, had the luxury of seeing two of these teams so far. Seeing Ridgeview now for a half. Again, Central played Union earlier in the season, but I don't think either one was at that game. But again, the Warriors did take on Union. That game, I believe, was like a 30-14, 35-14, something like that. Again, Central kind of scored a couple touchdowns late and kind of trimmed into that lead. But we did get the luxury of seeing Graham, the number 3 seed, here in this tournament earlier in the season, and we had a little conversation coming over that Graham was probably one of the better teams we had seen that you and I had seen. Again, we didn't see the first game between Ridgeview and Central earlier in the season, but Graham was a team that we had saw earlier in the season. And based on what you've seen out of one half here from Ridgeview, how would you compare Ridgeview to that Graham team?
I think it's two different games. I think we were much more competitive with Graham, but I was awfully impressed with Graham's football team. I would like to see a matchup between Graham and Ridgeview. Graham, big offensive linemen, big running backs, a good quarterback, good receivers. They were pretty explosive on the offensive side of the football, good defense. So I'd like to see them match up with this Ridgeview team. I'd like to, I'm interested how that game would turn out. For me, Graham still is the most impressive team I've seen to this point.
Yeah, again, the style of game that Graham played compared to what we're seeing out of Ridgeview tonight. When we saw Graham, I remember walking away from that game feeling like that was one of the first times I had seen a high school team. It's been a while since I've seen, high school football, at least regularly. But that Graham team was the closest thing that I had seen to a team that ran something that looked like a college-style offense. Again, the quarterback was dropping back. He was making passes. The receivers were quick. They had tall, lanky receivers. They had big, strong running backs, and they could mix it up. Looking back at that game, I remember you and I made a reference to it. Almost looked late in the game, at least in the third, fourth quarter. That game was pretty much in hand by that point. But it looked like Graham was just sort of trying out some stuff. It looked
like they were practicing.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to run some plays just to see how they worked. Again, they were up big, but they were still throwing the football to see, would this work? Does it work? And like you said, it was almost like it turned into sort of like a scrimmage for them just to see what type of plays they could run and how they looked in under game experience.
Yeah, and we made mention that Graham had two running backs that kind of, for all you football junkies out there, they had two running backs that kind of put you in the mind of Jerome Bettis.
Yeah.
They had a big receiver, kind of reminds you of a Calvin Johnson type receiver, just big, strong, able to run through tackles. And then a quarterback with a solid arm. So, be interested to see how Graham does in these playoffs. And from what I've seen, they really impressed me, obviously they did you.
Yeah, so if things hold the way the seeding, if you assume the seeds hold, as we've mentioned a few minutes ago, those seedings doesn't always hold.
No.
Just ask UVA.
Yeah.
Seedings don't always hold. But if things hold, we'll be looking at Ridgeview versus Richlands next week, and then Union playing Graham. And that Union-Graham game would probably be a pretty entertaining game to be able to watch as well.
Union may have a dogfight tomorrow. It was 12-0. This is one of those rare things where they're playing a team 2 consecutive weeks. So they played John Battle last week, and the final was 12-0 Union. And now, tomorrow they get a rematch. Last week's game was over at John Battle. Tomorrow's game will be at Bullitt Park. So we'll be interested to see how that game comes out. Not an automatic W for the Bears. You would expect them to win that football game because of who they are, but not automatic considering last week's score.
Yeah, again, I referenced a few minutes ago, went back in your J.J. Kelly days playing that playoff game at Bullitt Park against the Vikings as they were.
We had them too, Chris. We had them, man.
That game at Bullitt Park. So now Union, calling Bullitt Park home, and again, a lot of history there for the for the Powell Valley Vikings and Union now at Bullitt Park again. Though Powell Valley now combined with obviously Appalachia.
A lot of history there for Appalachia as well.
It's kind of old news now. It's showing our age just a little bit as we bring up some of these schools that
defunct.
What's crazy is, as we found out over recent years, we're around a lot of younger kids.
Right.
Some of the kids don't even recognize what we're talking about when we say Vikings and Bulldogs, and they're like, who?
I got to tell this story while we're on.
I
know Chris has heard this a couple times. About a year ago, I got out one of my old football games and was watching it just because that's just kind of what you do sometimes when you played sports and you get old like we are. Sometimes if you're fortunate enough to have some of those games laying around, you put them in because you want your kids to see you play, and then they realize you really wasn't as good as what you talked about being. But I remember putting the game in and watching.
Go ahead.
Peanut over here making an Al Bundy reference.
Tell us about your Polk High story. How many touchdowns did you score in that state championship?
Tell you about being a shoe salesman. But I remember putting the game in, and we were playing Powell Valley, and my little boy Ethan sitting with me watching the game. First of all, he had to pick me out. What number are you, Dad? Whatever. And I told him what number I was and such. And then he looks at the other team, and he goes, Dad, who's that blue team? He had no idea. No clue. I said, well, son, that's the Powell Valley Vikings. And he said, well, who's that? And then I realized, you know what? He had no idea. I said, this is part of the Union Bears now. And so he was like, oh, okay, it makes sense. So they were good then too. I said, yeah, they were good then too. And but anyway, that's kind of how far we've come. You have to go back into the archives to pull those out. But yeah, Peanut with the Al Bundy reference. Did we ever think that we would come to Ridgeview tonight and be talking about Al Bundy?
No, probably not. So you never know what we're going to talk about at the half. We sort of run out of things to talk about. We just go with it, and that's what's made our halftime shows probably just as entertaining as the actual football game when you just sort of kind of get going and begin talking about that. One thing we may look at talking here in the second half, Kelly, as both teams are back out here for some halftime stretches, and the second half is set to resume here, or set to start here very shortly, is perhaps starting to preview some of the Central Warriors basketball, which will tip off here in a couple of weeks. About 2 weeks away, the Central Warriors have their first benefit game against Honaker, and you're an assistant coach on that staff. I'm the coach of the JV team, so we have a little bit of talk about there. Again, you're helping Coach McCamus this year. I've been around the program for the last couple of years, so again, Sturgill Sports Media Warrior Nation blog, hoping to bring you some of those basketball games, not just with the boys, but the girls as well.
Defending state champion.
Defending state championship
Lady
girls.
Warriors.
We'll have to find some new voices probably to bring you guys those contests. Probably not as good voices as ours. I know Compton. He'll probably Coach Compton will fill in some. He thinks he's got a good voice, but he doesn't. He's not quite up to our level.
Tickle the ivories.
No, it does not. Again, he's a Pittsburgh fan, so that alone knocks him down a few.
Pittsburgh
pegs.
looked pretty good last night. 52 points up on Carolina.
Yeah, but when you play a Thursday night game at home, you're supposed to win.
You're supposed to win.
But
according to Vegas.
Yeah, according to Vegas. Yeah, we won't talk about Vegas. But anyway, because what happens there stays there. Maybe if we were what's the name
Musburger?
of Brent Musburger, we'd had a point spread for tonight, and we'd been taking some bets before the kickoff. But we're not. So here we are. The Warriors are on the field. The referees are coming out, just now getting out onto the field. They must have been staying in the warm, cozy confines of the some coaching office here on Ridgeview's campus. Not really wanting to come out here into the wet rain and cold. Both teams, Central lined up on the wrong side of the field, Kelly, so that's not a good omen here to start the second half. But teams are getting set, and the referees are about to signal second half play. Again, if you just tuned in, the Ridgeview Wolfpack lead the Central Warriors 42-0. Tonight's game brought to you by Lawn Rangers.
And I do think, Chris, in the second half, with the score being 42-0, it will be a continuous clock. Clock will only stop for injuries and for timeouts.
Okay, so
I think
we may have less time to talk. Again, we're the amateurs, but we don't have no commercial breaks. We just keep right on going. So, like I said, if these people in the press box here tonight can put up with us, they're going to have to listen to us talk nonstop. And as you said, before the kickoff even happened, Kelly, the clock was beginning to wind. Looks like Matthew Boggs will take the kickoff at the 10-yard line. He crosses the 20. He's going to be brought down at the 22-yard line. So that's how the Warriors' second half will begin. It'll be first down and 10 for the Warriors at their own 22-yard line, trailing 42-0.
And on cue, looks like a lot of new jerseys coming out onto the field for the Wolfpack of Ridgeview. Now on the Warriors side, we're kind of thin in numbers over there. We have lost a couple players to
Again, you look
for
at
various reasons throughout the year. Also, we've lost a few to injuries throughout the year. So I can't exactly see how many's dressed over on our sideline. Can't be more than 25.
Yeah, again, if you look at our starting lineup sheet from the first game to now, a lot of crossed out names, and a lot of those due to injuries. Maddox Reynolds goes in motion. He's going to take the first down snap off the left-hand side. He's going to get it out across the 22 and be brought down at the 25-yard line. Maddox Reynolds goes in motion, is going to pick up 3 yards, making it second down and 7.
And the clock does continue to run here in the second half. A good job there by Maddox, picking up positive yards on first down. We'll see what the Warriors come back with here on this second down play.
Okay, Kelly, I'm going to have to chime in. I just got a text from Amber Sayers that Carly Sayers does not know who Al Bundy is. So the Warriors come out. They break the huddle on the second down. It's going to be a run to C.J. Crabtree off the right-hand side. He goes in motion. He It's the ball out to about the 28-yard line, so it's going to be another gain of 3. That's going to make it 3rd down and about 4 here for Warriors on the opening drive of the second half.
That is unbelievable. I don't know if that's could that be considered bad parenting?
So you're calling out Coach J.W. Sayers and Amber Sayers as bad parents?
No, I'm not.
You know, you got to look at that
I'm
show.
just kidding.
I don't know if that show comes on much anymore. It may be on Netflix.
I wouldn't let my kids watch it.
Oh, there you go.
You
So maybe it's good parenting.
That's good parenting.
I can remember. That's one of those TV shows that I remember growing up. It used to come on after midnight on like some random.
Come on after midnight.
On some random
Sunday.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, that makes it okay. It came on Sunday. Warriors break the huddle. Maddox Reynolds goes in motion. It's going to be a handoff to Matthew Boggs up the middle. He's going to get a couple of yards. It will be close to a Warriors first down. It's going to depend on the spot. Still waiting. It looks like the official, who's not really near the first down marker, is going to go ahead and call it a first down. So that will be a Sturgill Sports Media first down for the Warriors. So on the opening drive of the second half, the Warriors pick up 10 on their first set of plays, and it'll be a first down.
Good run there by Matthew, picking up the first down, keeping the sticks moving for Central.
So it's going to be first down and 10. Again, the clock is running here in the second half. It is a continuous clock as long as the Warriors trail by the margin that they currently do. We're down now to just 9 minutes and 10 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Ethan Mullins in the shotgun. Maddox Reynolds goes in motion. Mullins takes the snap. He's going to keep it. He pitches it to C.J. Crabtree off the right-hand side. On the option play, Kelly, not a whole lot of room there. Looks like C.J. will get about a couple of yards, maybe 2, making it second down and 8 for the Warriors.
Ethan would have probably been better off just keeping the football there instead of pitching it back. But here we are now, second down and 7, still able to pick up 3 on that first down play. A couple of receivers into the game now for the Warriors. Damai Lester enters the game. I couldn't tell who the other
number 6, A.J. Kennedy came in the game as well. So it's going to be second down and 8 for the Warriors. Ball on their own 34-yard line. Ethan Mullins goes back up under center. C.J. Crabtree goes in motion. It's going to be handoff to Maddox Reynolds on a counter play. He's across the 40-yard line off the left-hand side. Kind of stumbles up just a little bit, but he's going to cross the 42-yard line. So that's going to be enough for a Warriors first down, a Sturgill Sports Media first down. So 2 consecutive first downs here by the Warriors, and moving the ball here again with a little bit of success 4 minutes into the third quarter.
A good run there by Maddox on the counter play that we talked about in the first half, able to find a little space and pick up the first down for Central.
And it is, again, worth noting that, again, the Central starters are still in the contest. Not a whole lot of substitutions available for the Central Warriors. We pretty much believe that Ridgeview now has their second team defense into the contest, leading 42-0. This time the handoff is to C.J. Crabtree off the right-hand side. He's going to be brought down from behind. Look like maybe a horse caught, but I do not see a flag anywhere. C.J. Crabtree will be brought down at the 49-yard line. Had quite a bit of running room, so was able to get 6 yards on the first down play. It'll make it second down and 4.
Yeah, it kind of looked like a horse collar, but I don't believe it was. It looked like he grabbed the back of his shoulder pad there. Still a nice run by C.J. Tough run to finish out there. So second and short for Central.
So this opening drive by Central now approaching the 5-minute mark on time of possession as, again, the Warriors receive the second half kickoff. Ethan Mullins comes out in the shotgun this time on second down and 4. Maddox Reynolds goes in motion. It'll be a handoff up the middle to Matthew Boggs. He's across midfield, breaks a tackle. He'll finally be brought down inside Ridgeview territory at the 41-yard line. That's going to be a Central Warriors and a Sturgill Sports Media first down. First down and 10 for the Warriors inside Ridgeview territory.
Good run by Matthew to pick up the first down. And this is really what you want to see from the Warriors starting the second half. Positive gains, moving the football, trying to find something to feel good about coming away from this ball game.
So 6 minutes and 30 seconds left here in the third quarter. Ethan Mullins comes out up under center. Maddox Reynolds goes in motion. There's the counter play again. This time it's going to go to C.J. Crabtree. He's not going to find a whole lot of running room. I believe he will fight his way back to the original line of scrimmage, which is the 41-yard line. And that is the case. It's going to make it second down and 10 for the Warriors with 6 minutes remaining.
Good job there by the defensive tackle from Ridgeview, seeing the counter right away, replacing the offensive lineman, making the tackle for the Wolfpack.
Lester and Kennedy again jog back out onto the field to relay the next play call for the Central Warriors. Again, we're now under halfway point here in the third quarter. 5 minutes and 50 seconds remain here in the third quarter. Again, the clock is continuously running with the Warriors trailing 42-0. Ethan Mullins goes back up under center. Maddox Reynolds goes in motion. It will be a keeper. It's actually going to be a pass from Mullins. Pretty good pass play out to C.J. Crabtree on the left-hand side. Crabtree makes the catch at the 35-yard line. Will be thrown down hard at the 34-yard line. So it's going to be a gain of about 7, making it third down and a little more manageable. We'll call it third down and 3 for the Warriors.
I got to tell you, CJ's a tough kid. He's been hit pretty hard a couple times tonight, still able to bounce back up and get back in the huddle. So, CJ, hats off to you, pal.
Again, good tackling by the Ridgeview Wolfpack. Again, some pretty hard tackles all night tonight on the Warriors offense here in this contest. Clock now winding down to 5 minutes. Again, Warriors have had the ball the entire second half. 7 minutes now on the time of possession here in the half on this drive. Again, they trail 42-0. Here comes a key third down and 3 play. Ethan Mullins goes back up under center. Maddox Reynolds goes in motion. The handoff will be up the middle to Matthew Boggs. He's going to be hit right at the line of scrimmage. They're going to mark him down with a very short, minimal gain. He might get a half a yard, Kelly, so it's going to make it 4th down and 2. And if the Warriors hope to put up some points here in this contest, this would be a good drive to do it. But to do it, they're going to pick up his 4th down.
Yeah, they're going to have to pick up the 4th down. I here on this 4th down play, wouldn't be surprised to see the counter back to the left side to Maddox Reynolds, who picked up a couple big plays on this play earlier in the contest.
So it's going to be 4th down and 2. The Warriors have the ball at the Ridgeview Wolfpack 33-yard line. 4 minutes and 15 seconds remain here in the third quarter. Ethan Mullins breaks the huddle, comes back out up under center, again joined by two jet backs here. They try and draw them off sides on the play, and now we get a false start. Looked like Ethan Mullins, our killer, was trying to get the offside penalty, was not able to do so. Got some of the Ridgeview players to jump a little bit, but not enough for an offsides. And then the defensive end, or the offensive end right there for the Warriors. Oh, they are going to call offsides. So they're going to say that the Ridgeview defense, I guess, caused the Warriors offense to move. So it'll be an offsides penalty, which will be enough for the Warriors' first down and a Sturgill Sports Media first down.
And again, down 42. We'll take all the help we can get here. But then good call there by the official. Defense moved first. Offense moved off the defense's movement. So offsides on defense, first down for Central.
So, again, we're on the first possession here of the third quarter. Again, we're down to under 3.5 left in the quarter. Ethan Mullins this time goes into the shotgun. Maddox or CJ Crabtree goes into motion. The handoff will be up the middle to Matthew Boggs, who breaks the initial tackle. He gets it across the 25-yard line. Will finally be brought down at the 23-yard line. Be a gain of 5, making it 2nd down and 5 as the clock now approaches 3 minutes.
Good first down run by Matthew Boggs there as A.J. Kennedy checks back into the football game for the Warriors, and the clock just seems to be flying by here in the third.
Yeah, really quick second half so far. We ain't going to have a whole lot to talk about, it appears, as, again, the Warriors here on the opening drive. I was going to share some Al Bundy stories, but at this point, we ain't going to have a whole lot of room to talk. The handoff goes to C.J. Crabtree off the right-hand side. He's going to get it out to about the 22-yard line. He'll finally be brought down, so it's going to be a very short gain. They're going to mark him down at just inside the 22, so maybe a gain of 1, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down and maybe a long 3 right here for the Warriors.
And while we have a second here, I do want to give a shout-out to my wife, who is back at home today after having some dental work done today. Not feeling the best, but still a trooper there, and she may or may not be listening at the moment, but if she's not, I can always go back and say at this point in the game, I did give you a shout out. So shout out to my wife, Amber, okay, and love you, babe.
if she is listening, she's going to have you mow the yard tomorrow.
She might.
CJ Crabtree this time in the shotgun on 3rd down and 4. CJ Crabtree goes in motion. Ethan Mullins hands it off to Matthew. No, he keeps it himself off the left-hand side. He's going to sprint into the end zone, and so for the first time this season, the Central Warriors put up some points on Ridgeview. It's a 22-yard quarterback keeper on the read option by Ethan Mullins. He goes 22 yards, and with that, the Warriors now trail the Ridgeview Wolfpack 42-6.
Nice run there by Ethan, and that's the same play that we saw him break early in the first half. They go back to it here in the third quarter, and Ethan able to take that ball in for the touchdown. Good to see the Warriors get on the scoreboard.
So Ridgeview is able to keep the Central Warriors off the scoreboard for almost 7 consecutive quarters this season, but with 1:40 left here in the third quarter, Central is able to punch it in for a touchdown. The Warriors will go for 2. Ethan Mullins takes the snap. He rolls out to his right. He throws it into the end zone, and it will be a successful 2-point conversion. The pass was thrown to, Kelly didn't quite say that's number 6. That's A.J. Kennedy. So the 2-point conversion on the rollout will be successful, and with that, it's now Ridgeview 42, the Central Warriors 8 with 1:40 left in the third.
And that's a nice job there by the Warrior offense, taking the second half kickoff and going down the field, getting a score, getting a little positive momentum here in this second half and looking into the offseason. for Coach Luke Owens' ball club, relatively young ball club. So good job there by the Warriors. Take second half kickoff in for the touchdown.
So, again, the Warriors kept the ball for over 10 minutes on the drive. In fact, it was 10 minutes and 20 seconds to be exact on the time of possession. Again, kind of helped there by the running clock with the Warriors trailing about 42, the clock staying running the whole time. But, again, a good lengthy drive right there. The Warriors are finally able to punch it in on the 22-yard run by Ethan Mullins. Again, successful two-point conversion pass to A.J. Kennedy in the back of the end zone. And it's now 42-8 with 1 minute and 40 seconds left here in the third quarter. And I think it's all right.
Everything's going to be all right.
Everything's going to be all right. So
that tops Peanuts Old Spice ringtone.
The Warriors kick it off. Peyton Rogers with a short pooch kick towards the sideline. And for the second time tonight on Warriors kickoffs, it will travel out of bounds for a penalty flag. And so Ridgeview will get the ball with good field position. Again, here with just 1:40 remaining in the third quarter.
And with the Warriors scoring that touchdown and the two-point conversion, I do want to add that the clock now goes back to a regular running clock because I think the point total for the running clock is 35. The point total now is 34.
All right, so there we go. So now if the Warriors are going to have another 10-minute drive, they'll have to do it the old-fashioned way. So 1:40 remains here in the third quarter. Again, the kickoff by the Warriors sailed out of bounds, so Ridgeview will take possession at their own 42-yard line. Again, Ridgeview leading 42-8. Tonight's game, again, is brought to you by Lawn Rangers. Ridgeview breaks the huddle again, as we mentioned in the first half. Ridgeview with a lot of substitutes now in the contest. We'll do the best we can to bring you the correct names. I believe number 2, Nick Phillips, is in at quarterback now, replacing O'Quinn. Phillips takes the snap. He fakes the handoff. He's going to keep it himself. He runs around a little bit in the backfield, not going to find a whole lot of running room. He'll be met pretty much at the line of scrimmage. They may give him a half a yard or so on the run, if that. They're going to give him a yard, so it's going to make it 2nd down and 9 for the Wolfpack.
And that tackle was made by number 62, Eli Stallard, who is a senior, playing out his final quarters here as a Central Warrior football player. So good job there by Eli.
Ridgeview huddles up again. Number 2, Nick Phillips, now in at quarterback, replacing number 13, Tyler O'Quinn. Again, O'Quinn, a senior here for the Wolfpack. Nick Phillips, a sophomore, getting him some reps in. You would assume that Phillips will be the quarterback of the future once O'Quinn graduates at the end of the season. Phillips takes the snap. It's a toss off to the right. The pitch was number 25, Cannon Lewis. He is a sophomore. He'll be met in the backfield by the Warriors defense. In fact, he'll be brought down back at the original line of scrimmage. That'll make it 3rd down and 10 as the clock winds down to under 40 seconds left here in the third quarter.
Tackle on the play was made by Tyson Tester, who came into tonight's contest with 45.5 tackles on the season, the number 2 leading tackler on the team for the Warriors behind Logan Mullins.
Again, Logan Mullins actually scribbled off on our sheet. I'm not sure if he's injured tonight. I don't think I've seen – he's sick. So very good chance that Tyson will pass up Logan on the leaderboard in tackles. There's 14 seconds on the play clock. Only 10 seconds remains on the game clock. So Ridgeview will be content to let the clock expire, ending the third quarter. And Kelly, a pretty quick third quarter right there. Again, with that clock rolling and Central chewing up so much time, that third quarter pretty much flew by. The Warriors took over 10 minutes on their opening drive, punched it in for the score, and then Ridgeview got the ball back, ran 2 plays, and that was it. Third quarter is up.
Third quarter is in the books. Warriors get on the board in the third quarter, so good job there, and good news if you're a Central fan. So we head to the fourth and what seems like the final quarter of the football season for the Central Warriors.
That is correct. I will want to piggyback on top of you here and give my wife a shout out. She just sent me a text that she is listening as well. Says she has enjoyed listening to us and thinks we do a very good job. Actually, she says that she thinks I do a very good job, but
she's going to say that because she's your wife.
I figure we're a team, and so I'm going to say thank you to her, and I love her, and thanks for listening and being supportive of me. Again, we've said all along that this is fun. We enjoy doing this. We thank Evan for making this possible. This is again a dream come true to be able to broadcast games of any sort on the radio, and we enjoy doing this. So again, thanks Sally, thanks for listening to us, and thanks for all the support. On 3rd down and 10, Ridgeview will keep it. It's going to be a run by Nick Phillips off the left-hand side. He will cross the 45-yard line, brought down at the 47-yard line. That's going to be well short of a first down, so it's going to make a 4th down and 5, and the Ridgeview punting team hustles that onto the field.
One of the things that now we're back to the regular clock, I was starting to panic because I have not had supper tonight, have not been able to eat as many candy bars as I do on a normal Friday.
And just on the update, the bag of miniature candy bars is now half eaten. Between Kelly and Peanut, they have pretty much polished off a half a bag of candy bars. Again, Peanut, I'm assuming, had his pregame sub tonight. We got in here a little late and was unable to see if he had one. He is yet to bring Kelly and I one for ourselves, but he does bring the candy bars for Kelly. There's the snap and the punt by Ridgeview. It's not a very good punt. It's a low punt and travels out of bounds. It will be marked out of bounds at the 37-yard line. So Central will take possession of the ball with 11:03 left in the contest, trailing 42-8 and ball on the 37-yard line.
Had to pause a second, Chris, so I could swallow that candy bar. Up here in the box with us, we've been joined by one Emma Kate McAmus, who has found a good reason to come in out of the cold.
To listen to us?
To listen to us and to get warm.
There you go. No, I think it's to listen to us. It's a beautiful night here at Ridgeview. It's a beautiful night anywhere in Southwest Virginia if you like sitting out in the cold, wet, rainy weather. But she is now in here listening to us, so we'll try to do the best we can. Again, Emma Kate, a member of the Warriors Middle School Girls Program, currently in their season. I think they've played a handful of games. Again, your daughter as well. A member of that team, Kelly, and so far a pretty good start by the young lady Warriors basketball team. Warriors come out and set to run their next play. It's a handoff to C.J. Crabtree off the right-hand side. He's going to be drugged down from behind at the 39-yard line, so it's going to be a gain of 2, bringing up 2nd down and 8. Again, 10 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the contest and most likely the season here for the Warriors, trailing 42-8.
I don't want to put Peanut on the spot, but I'm interested to see just how many yards that CJ is from eclipsing 1,000 on the season. He may or may not be able to tell us that right now, but he's got to be getting close.
Yeah, again, he came into the night
41 away.
He's 41 away. He came in tonight needing about 80 some odd yards there to reach that 1,000 yard total. Maddox Reynolds goes in motion. The handoff will be to him off the left-hand side. He's across the 45. Good block on the edge right there by one of the Warriors receivers. Maddox will finally be chased out of bounds at the 43-yard line. There was a late flag thrown on the play. Getting that block off the end, I think, was by number 9, Josh Price. Let's see if the flag is going to be on him. It will be, I believe, on him. I thought it was a good block, but instead the referee saw a hold on it. So it will negate the good run by Maddox Reynolds and march the Central Warriors back into their own territory.
Yeah, Maddox got the edge on that carry, got to the outside, had some daylight, but again, all for naught as the penalty brings the ball back inside the 50 into Warriors territory at the 41.
So it'll keep it 2nd down and 7 now for the Warriors. It'll be a spot foul. Again, I don't know if Maddox had a lot of daylight. Perhaps it was because of the holding penalty on Price on the end. So 2nd down and 6, clock at 10 minutes remaining in the contest. Ethan Mullins goes up under center. It's going to be a handoff to C.J. Crabtree off the right-hand side. He will break the initial tackle in the backfield. He's dragging a couple of Ridgeview Wolfpack defenders with him. Really hard run that time by C.J. Crabtree. Hard run. It's only going to be for about 3 yards, but it was actually, he was hitting the backfield. It could have been a loss. So good job of C.J. to make something out of nothing on that run.
Good, tough run by C.J., who came into the night with 164 carries on the year. This kid, he runs hard every time he touches the football, no matter the score, as evidenced tonight.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 2 now for Central. Ball at their own 45-yard line. Again, the clock now under 9.5 minutes remaining in the contest. Ethan Mullins comes out of the huddle up under center. Again, 2 receivers to his side, one on the left, one on the right. Maddox Reynolds goes in motion. It'll be a handoff to Matthew Boggs in the backfield. It looks like he has just enough for a 1st down. Have not received the signal. There is the signal. So it will be a Central Warriors and a Sturgill Sports Media 1st down with 9:13 remaining in the contest.
9:13 to go, and you'd like to see this Central Warrior football team punch one more into the end zone to make it a little more respectable here tonight, Chris.
Yeah, they trail 42-8 against Ridgeview, scoring all 42 of their points in the first half. And memory serves me correctly, I believe 28 of them might have been in the first quarter. Again, they were scoring really quickly when they did get the football. Ethan Mullins fumbles the snap. He's able to pick it back up at his own 45-yard line. He actually breaks a couple of tackles. So, again, he could have been met in the backfield for a loss of 3. He picks up the fumble, breaks a few tackles, and gets it to midfield. So it's going to go down as a gain for 2 for Ethan on the play, making it 2nd down and 8.
That's some of the toughest 2 yards that Ethan will ever run in his life. He picks the ball up and sheds about 4 Ridgeview defenders to pick up 2 yards there for Central.
They're actually going to give him across midfield, mark him down at the 49-yard line. So it'll be a gain of 3 for Ethan Mullins to get on that broken play on the fumbled snap. Ethan Mullins goes back up under center. That's C.J. Crabtree in motion. He'll take the handoff off the left-hand side. He's across the 45-yard line, across the 40. He breaks a tackle. He's across the 20, the 15. He's finally going to be pushed out of bounds at the 11-yard line. So that's going to be a gain of 38 for C.J. Crabtree on the 2nd down run. And at this point in the season, Kelly, the one thing to keep an eye on for Central is, can C.J. Crabtree reach that 1,000-yard mark? We'll have to await the official tally from Peanut to make sure he's there, or exactly how far away he is, but he should be getting ever so closer as the Warriors have the ball now 1st and 10 at the Ridgeview 11.
I just want to say also on that play, it was a good job out on the left side by number 11 for the Warriors, Jacob Page, making the block springing CJ for that long run.
And Jacob Page, a name we haven't mentioned, I don't think hardly any of this season, so good job by him. On 1st down, the run is to C.J. Crabtree off the right-hand side. He'll be brought down at the 5-yard line. I just received the thumbs up that he does now have 1,000 yards on the season. He'll get a gain of about 6 on that one. They're going to mark him down at the 5, so it's going to make it 2nd down and 4 now from the Warriors. Ball at the Ridgeview 5 as Warriors look to try to get another score here late in this contest.
So congratulations to CJ for eclipsing the 1,000-yard mark on the season. That's a great accomplishment by a fine young man there.
So again, the Warriors now driving again, ball on their own on the Ridgeview 5. Maddox Reynolds goes in motion. The handoff will be to C.J. Crabtree off the right-hand side, and he will sprint it into the end zone. There is a touchdown. We have some flags thrown in the end zone after the score. We'll have to see what this is. We see a few guys getting face-to-face here. The officials break it up. Luckily, nothing really escalated after the touchdown. It is a touchdown run by C.J. Crabtree. If everything holds, we'll have to wait and see what the penalty is and see if the touchdown is good or not. The touchdown is good, as we just received word. We now have personal foul, and that will be called on Ridgeview. Would assume that would be tacked on perhaps on the kickoff. We'll have to just kind of wait and see how that all plays out. But the touchdown is good. It's a 5-yard touchdown run by C.J. Crabtree, which makes the score now Ridgeview 42 and Central 14.
And that penalty will be marched off on the kickoff against Ridgeview. So here come the Warriors to go for 2.
The Warriors will go for 2 yet again. Last time they opted to throw a pass, which was completed in the back of the end zone to A.J. Kennedy. C.J. Crabtree goes in motion, looks very similar. Ethan Mullins rolls out to his right. He throws it up in the end zone. This time it will be deflected. The pass was intended to number 12, Maddox Reynolds. Good job by Ridgeview in the back of the end zone to deflect the pass, and it will fall incomplete. So with that, with 7 minutes and 24 seconds remaining in the contest, Ridgeview leading 42-14.
Yeah, and the Warriors get on the board one more time, and C.J. punching that ball in after eclipsing the 1,000-yard mark on the season. So, a great job there by the Warriors. They've come out here in the second half, and like we talked about at halftime, they were not going to quit. So they've come out here in the second half, put a couple good drives together, punched the ball in the end zone to cut into this big Ridgeview lead.
Yeah, again, just again making the score a little bit more respectful. Again, we're not going to sit here and try to kid ourselves. Again, we understand, and most of you probably do listen to us. Ridgeview does have their second team in. Their first team scored 42 points in the first half. We have not seen, any of the big names that we saw in the first half. Again, Quinn's not in the game. Adkins is not in the game. Sexton's not in the game. Again, Sexton and Adkins scored 6 touchdowns in the first quarter or the first half, many of which went pretty much untouched. And then on that final drive, Ridgeview did elect to put their second team in. And Central has had a little bit more success here against the Wolfpack second team, again scoring 14 unanswered points after trailing 42-0 at the half. So Central will kick off from the 40. Nope, they're going to mark it off from the 40. There's the personal foul signal yet again. So Central will kick off inside of Ridgeview territory. You don't see this very often, so they will kick it from the Ridgeview 45-yard line. The Ridgeview return man stands on the edge of his own end zone. So I've always wondered, okay, it's the perfect time to do like an onside kick, because even if you don't recover it, you're still going to have the defense or the other team pinned back. So let's see what the Warriors elect to do here. Peyton Rogers goes, and he's going to kick it deep. Ridgeview will field it at the 3-yard line. The returner is out across the 20, breaks a couple tackles. He crosses the 30-yard line and finally be brought down at the 33-yard line. So Ridgeview will start this drive throwing 33. I've thought about that, even at the upper levels. If you're going to kick it that deep into the field, why not attempt it? Worst case scenario, if Central tries the onside kick right there, worst case scenario, Ridgeview recovers it about where the ball's at now. You give yourself a chance. And I'm not, I ain't trying, we ain't talking about coming back in the game or anything like that or whatever. It's just, it would only make sense, because if you kick it 10 yards, they recover it at the 35-yard line, and you give yourself a chance to recover it. If not, then the other team's got the same field position they have now.
I think in a closer game, that's an option. I think in the way tonight is, with Ridgeview going away from their starters, putting in their second team, that's something you probably don't want to do.
Yeah, it kind of looks like you're trying to make it competitive when obviously the other team is, like you said, put in their second team. Ridgeview takes possession. It's going to be an option play off the right-hand side. The pitch off to the right. The Ridgeview running back crosses the 40s across the 45-yard line. That's going to be enough for a Wolfpack first down. The run was made by number 25. That is Kanan Lewis, again, a sophomore for Ridgeview. With the good first down run, it's going to be a gain of about 14, in fact, on the play. So for the first time, Ridgeview with a pretty good run here, a pretty good gain by their second team.
Yeah, it's a good job there by Lewis, picking up some yardage there for the Wolfpack as the clock goes under 7 minutes here to go in the ball game.
Ridgeview breaks the huddle. Again, the quarterback is number 2, Nick Phillips. He takes the shotgun snap. He hands it off again up the middle. Good runner here again by Ridgeview. They cross midfield across the 40 down to 35, but there is a flag on the play. The run was by Lewis again. The flag is right around the line of scrimmage in an area you might assume it's holding. I see a face mask symbol, so let's see exactly who this penalty will be on. Neither team really moving. It's going to be a personal foul face mask, a face mask against the Warriors. So that will tack on 15 more yards on the end of the run. Good run by Lewis up the middle. He broke through, got a lot of yardage, and then the personal foul penalty now puts Ridgeview right at the edge of the red zone. They're going to mark it at the 20-yard line. So, we've seen a lot of positive momentum by the Warriors here in the second half, at least on the scoreboard. You'd like to maintain that if you're the Warriors defense right here and do what you can to keep this Ridgeview second team out of the end zone.
Yeah, and that's 2 personal fouls here within the span of about 10 minutes, or actually 10 minutes real time, about 3 minutes game time. You want to get away from that.
Phillips in the shotgun. He takes the snap. He hands it off to Lewis off the left-hand side. He cuts it back up the middle. He crosses the 15-yard line. They're going to mark him down at about the 14-yard line. So another good run by Lewis on first down. It's going to be a gain of, looks like 6. That'll make it 2nd down and 4 now for Wolfpack, with right at 6 minutes left in the game. Again, it's 42-14. We're here at Ridgeview. This is the first round of the VHSL Division II playoffs. Again, the Wolfpack leading the Central Warriors 42-14. The Wolfpack enter tonight as the number 1 seed here on this end of the state in the playoffs. The Central Warriors, by virtue of winning 3 straight games to end the season, come in as the number 8 seed. This is the 1 versus 8 seed contest. Ridgeview comes out of the huddle. It's a shotgun snap to Phillips. He hands it off again to Lewis up the middle. He gets the ball across the across the line of scrimmage. He'll be brought down at the 12-yard line, which will be just shy of the first down. So it'll be 3rd down and about 1 with 5:15 left. Ridgeview football on the Warriors 11.
And as I look out into the parking lot here at Ridgeview, I see a lot of cars with their lights on and guys and gals trying to get ahead of the traffic on their way out of the stadium, whereas you and I, on the other hand, will have to walk 3 miles to get back to your truck.
I'm hoping that we can hitchhike, and from what I've gathered, you're a rather popular fellow over here, so maybe somebody will give us a ride back to our vehicle. On the 3rd down and 1 play, it'll go as a first down as Lewis runs it off the right-hand side. That'll be enough for a Ridgeview first down. with 4:43 left, Ridgeview now will have a first down and goal from the 6.
Man, I don't even know what to say, man. I want to know how many times you're going to take that truck and run over.
I had to get one jab in. Again, we're running low on stuff to talk about at this point. Again, we've talked about Al Bundy. We've talked about UVA basketball. And so, I had to throw a slight jab. And we may not be broadcasting again together. So I had to get my shot in while I could. Here's the good thing about that jab is it will live on forever on YouTube, as we have mentioned several times. We'll be able to go back in 20 years and relive not only this clip, but several clips that will live on forever. On first down, Ridgeview runs it off the left-hand side. They're going to go backwards for a loss of 2. That'll make it second down and goal now from the 8. The clock is now under 4 minutes left here in the contest. Again, Ridgeview leading 42-14. And from what I can gather, we're having a lot more fun up here in some enemy territory now. If nothing else, we are entertaining our press box mates. Again, we'd like to thank them for having us here tonight. Again, thanks to everyone here at Ridgeview for allowing us to do this. On second down and goal, Phillips will take the snap. He's going to run out to his left. He crosses the 5-yard line, dives towards the pylon, and there's the signal. It will be a touchdown. Good run by the sophomore, Nick Phillips, off the left-hand side. Didn't look like he quite had enough angle there to get it in, but he's able to dive towards the pylon. That'll be an 8-yard touchdown run by the Wolfpack. And with 3:27 left, Ridgeview extends the lead 48-14.
And we've talked about the Warriors getting in the end zone. It's probably a pretty good feeling for some of these guys on the Wolfpack there. Some of the second-team guys getting some action tonight, able to punch the ball in as well. As Ridgeview's extra point team comes onto the field.
Again, this will be their 7th attempt at an extra point here in the contest. Again, it's 48-14. Ridgeview leads. We have a new kicker. He has red shoes on, so he's got to make it. And the kick is up, and it is good. We've discussed earlier in the year, if you wear fancy shoes as a kicker, you must be pretty good.
You have to be good.
Yeah, I think it was Graham's kicker who had on the green cleats. His were neon green, and we said if you're bold enough to wear neon green cleats, you're good. And so the Ridgeview kicker comes out in bright red shoes. They don't quite match the uniform, but if you're going to wear bright red shoes in a black and blue uniform, you must be pretty good. And as that kick showed, it was good. So he has the right to wear red shoes now, by our opinion. So with the extra point being good, with 3:27 left in the contest, Ridgeview now takes a 49-14 lead on the Central Warriors, and they will line up for the kickoff. Back deep, again, the Warriors have C.J. Crabtree and Matthew Boggs standing at their own 10-yard line set to receive.
A lot of kickoffs in this game tonight. A lot of special teams play by both teams as well.
So Ridgeview lines up to kick the ball off from their own 40-yard line. As I mentioned, Crabtree and Boggs stand at their own 10, awaiting the return with 3:24. And with that, Kelly, I look up and the clock does begin to roll again. So we're back at that continuous clock. C.J. Crabtree takes the kick. I actually take it back. It is Matthew Boggs. He'll get it out to the 25-yard line where he'll finally be brought down. And as you said, with the Warriors now trailing by 35, the clock will continuously run for the remainder of the contest, assuming the Warriors are unable to score again.
And with about 3 minutes to go in the season, I think you look back when we did the first game down at Central against the East Side, and we talked about what kind of season this team could have, and I think they have probably met expectations. That preseason poll we took on Twitter after that first week of the season, about 45% of the people said the Warriors would win between 4 and 6 games, and they have done so. And so, this group has probably met expectations for the season.
I would agree. The Warriors come out in the shotgun. Ethan Mullins takes the snap. It's a keeper. He pitches it off to C.J. Crabtree off the right-hand side. Crabtree breaks the first tackle, but they're going to say his knee was down. Looks like some of the coaches on the Warriors sideline disagree with that. They will mark him down. Looks like it'll be a very short game, maybe a gain of they're going to give him a yard on the play. So it'll make it, I believe, second down and 9. Still there's a little bit of confusion out here amongst the officials. And from where we are right now, we're kind of fine with that because the clock is running. We're down to 2:15 to go in the contest. The ball has not been spotted back down for play just yet. They're going to mark it down right back at the 25-yard line. The down marker still says first down.
Maybe an inadvertent whistle.
It's a mulligan. I'm a golfer. It's a mulligan. It's when you're on the playground, you say redo. But the play clock will not be redoed. It's going to stay running. So we wasted about a minute of game time with this redo mulligan play. So the Warriors come out for the redo on first down and 10. CJ Crabtree goes in motion. They'll hand it off to Maddox Reynolds off the left-hand side. He gets the ball across the 30. He'll finally be brought down at the 32, which will make it second down and about 3 now for the Warriors with just under a minute and a half left in the contest.
A minute and a half to go. Looks like some new jerseys are coming in, and there goes Big Eli Stallard off the field in his final game as a Central Warrior. Probably played his final snap on the night, so good career there by Eli.
Yeah, a good move right there by the Warriors coach and staff to get him off, give him a little round of applause. Again, right now, Eli being hugged by several of the coaching staff over on the sidelines. Nice touch right there by Coach Owens to give him a chance right there. On the option play, C.J. Mullins takes the pitch. He gets the ball across the 50-yard line. A lot of running room off the right-hand side right there by C.J. So a big run right here by Crabtree as he gets the ball across midfield. Give him about a 20-yard gain on the play, and with 40 seconds to go in the contest, it'll be first down and 10. That's a Sturgill Sports Media first down. Warriors have the ball now inside of Ridgeview territory at the 46-yard line.
Probably time for one more play, Chris, in this football season for the Warriors.
So, again, the clock now at 25 seconds, the play clock at 18. So, again, probably the final play of the 2018 season here for the Central Warriors. Mullins takes the snap. He's going to hand it off to, that's Maddox Reynolds off the left-hand side. Maddox has a little bit of running room. He's across the 20. He's across the 10, the 5, and Maddox Reynolds with 7 seconds. They're going to mark him out of bounds at the 6-yard line. So it looked like a potential touchdown run for Reynolds. Instead, they're going to say he stepped out of bounds at the 6-yard line. And with that and the fireworks off in the distance, Kelly, that is the ball game. So Ridgeview does it right over. They shoot off some fireworks after the game. And there was plenty of fireworks to be shot off tonight, Kelly, as the Ridgeview Wolfpack will advance in the VHSL Division II playoffs by a final score of 49-14.
Yeah, you hate to see the season come to an end like tonight, but, again, a good season by the Central Warriors, earning a playoff spot, taking on the Wolfpack tonight. The Wolfpack was just a little too much for the Warriors, as it looks like the officials are gathering around down here around the 6-yard line. I mean, what could they be discussing other than maybe where they're going to eat after the game? It looks like they were – I don't know what they were talking about. They met down there where Maddox stepped out of bounds at the end of the ball game, and they discussed whatever they needed to discuss. And now they're on their way out.
Well, no offense. Again, I'd like to thank the folks here at Ridgeview for having us up here. But if they're going to eat somewhere, they're going to have to drive a little bit away. Not a whole lot of options here to eat. You're going to have to, like I said, drive a little bit of ways. Kelly, you mentioned it there a little bit as we kind of wrap up our broadcast and wrap up the football season. You made note of it and didn't quite have a chance to comment on it myself. But, the football season here for the Warriors, as you said, probably played out, about what most expected, maybe as best as could be expected. You put that Twitter poll up before our first broadcast and asked our listeners how many wins you thought the Warriors could get. And as you said, most of them projected somewhere in the 2 to 4, 2 to 5 win, category. And, you look back at the schedule that they had and, a 4-6 season and a chance to go to the playoffs. Odds are if you told most of these guys and the coaching staff prior to the season that you'd go 4-6 and you would make the playoffs, I think most of them would have probably signed up for it, especially when you looked at the schedule. Because you had games on there, again, against this Ridgeview team. You had a game against Union. You had a game against Graham. 3, as we've seen, that's the top 3 seeds in the playoffs. So you'd have to assume, barring some type of, major upset, major win by the Warriors, those were going to be losses. Right. So, and you still had some other tough games on there as well. But again, a 4-6 season, a trip to the playoffs, hats off to Coach Owens again. And the way they got to the playoffs, not only to get here, and not only to win 4 games, but to win the final 3 of the regular season. 2 great games that we got to witness at home, that win against Gate City, and then that great game in the final week against Grundy. To get here, again, hats off to the Central Warriors football team. I know tonight it leaves a little bit of a sour taste in your mouth, but hats off to them on what I would consider a very good season.
Absolutely, and you can't take anything away from them. They battled through a lot of adversity. You talked about the schedule, but so many injuries. Probably right off the bat, you want to talk about the big one, the Isaiah McAmus losing your starting quarterback, and then you have freshman Ethan Mullen stepping in for him, going 3-1 down the stretch, leading the team into the playoffs. You had several offensive linemen go down. You had Ben Brickey got hurt against Gate City. He was out for the remainder of the season. Isaiah Reynolds tonight did not suit up. Logan Mullins was sick tonight, did not suit up. So, and many, many others that were injured for the Warriors as well. So, despite all the injuries and despite the schedule and everything that happened, you tip your hat to Coach Owens and his staff for being able to rally the troops together and a good season there by Central. And now they can look forward to the off season, getting back into the weight room, leading up into the summer where they start all over again with 7-on-7s and you go into August with your preseason camp and you look into next year and you look at these running backs that will return next season. CJ Crabtree will be a junior next year, over 1,000 yards this season, going into his junior season. All these young kids growing up a year. You have Maddox Reynolds who will be a sophomore next season. Matthew Boggs will be a sophomore next season. You look on the defensive side of the football, you've got 2 freshmen leading the team in tackles who will now be sophomores in Logan Mullins and Tyson Tester. And several others who have made key contributions to the Warriors this year. So the future is bright. I know there's a lot of good kids that were on the JV squad this year that only lost 1 game, who will be coming up and will be either freshmen or sophomores going in the next year. So, there's a lot to be excited about if you're a Central Warrior fan. But as with every season, you have to wait a whole year to get started again.
So, and again, you mentioned a lot of those skill players. Looks like the biggest question marks for Central, for the football team moving into the future, is replacing some of these seniors who are on the offensive and defensive line.
Right.
Again, a lot of the skill position players will return. Quarterbacks, receivers, running backs, they'll all be back. But trying to figure out a way to solve some of the problems that they'll not have and face on the lines. Again, we'd like to thank Lawn Rangers for making tonight's game possible. Again, Lawn Rangers serving Wise, Dickinson, Lee, and Russell counties with 17 years of experience. They're a lawn service you can trust and depend on. Again, if you need any lawn service needs, give them a call at 276-275-4181. Again, special thanks to Lawn Rangers. And again, a special thanks to everyone who helped make these broadcasts during the football season possible. Again, Kelly and I enjoyed greatly being able to broadcast and talk to you guys and bring these games to you at home, bring these games to you wherever you were. I know a lot of people listened to us tonight at the state cross country. A lot of people listened to us last week at the cheerleading championships. So, again, thanks to all of you guys. Again, and special thanks to Sturgill Sports Media, the England Consulting Group, Lonesome Pine Country Club, the Heaters Baseball Club, and Evan Sturgill Photography. If you'd like to be a sponsor, please get in touch with Evan Sturgill. Email him, Warrior Nation blog. Get in touch with any of us and help make some basketball and baseball and softball games possible in the future. Again, special thanks to Ridgeview, the Ridgeview High School, Mr. Larry Edwards with the technology department here in Dickinson County for graciously hosting us here in the press box. Again, thanks for the guys up here in the press box for chiming in. They didn't seem to be too disturbed by us tonight. Again, we were homers, surrounded by a lot of Ridgeview, but I think they appreciated some of the banter and some of the commentary we brought to them. Again, special thanks to these guys for hosting us tonight. Thanks to Scott Kaiser for all of his work with Sturgill Sports Media. Again, thanks to everyone who made this possible. Special thank you to Evan Sturgill. None of this would have been made possible without his efforts last season to even make this a thought and reality. I know when he first mentioned it last year, I was all excited. I was all on board. Like I said, several times, this is a dream come true to be able to make this possible. So again, thanks to Evan Sturgill. Thanks to Kelly Foster for joining tonight. Thanks to Peanut for all the stats. And again, he's put up with us every game this season. He's had to listen to us in the booth. Maybe the first night he wasn't exactly sure what to expect, but I think as the season went on, he grew to grew to appreciate and enjoy it a lot.
I think it's because that first night I coughed all over him because I was sick.
That was it. So he brought you some chocolate to help make you feel better throughout the rest of the season. Again, tonight the Warriors fall to the Ridgeview Wolfpack by a score of 49-14. That will conclude the Central Warriors football season. And now we look forward to bringing you Central Warriors basketball. Again, the Lady Warriors being the defending state champions on the women's side. The boys basketball team coming off their most successful season last year in 2017, 2018, looking to capitalize on some of that momentum and making it a successful 2018-2019 season. Again, thanks to everyone who made this possible. Again, special thanks to Evan Sturgill. For Kelly Foster, I am Chris Wilson telling everyone good night.